Just working. We live and direct. The camera working, the mic working. You can see me, you can hear me. Let me know. Let me know if it's time to go. Let me know if it's time to roll. We'll see what happens. See if we can get some people rolling up. Get some people rolling up. Where everybody at? Where's everybody at? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat what's going on. Good morning. Good morning. How everybody doing? Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Got to keep a couple people in the building. Go ahead and let it marinate for a second. Let's go ahead and let it marinate for a second. See who pulls up on us. Okay. Dominique in the building. What's up with you, man? What's up with you, man? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? Oh, yep. EC in the building said looks and sounds good. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. So I had to get here early. Had to get here early for a front row seat because Rated Tape is about to go live. What's good with the nation? What is good with the nation? We're back in this thing with this week's live and direct. Rated Tape. Adrian in the building. What's up with it? Shout out EC for pulling up on us. EC Everett, Dominique 5 in the building. Yeah, 303 in the building. What's up with you, man? What's good with you? Donahue, I see you, man. I see you, Donahue, pulling up on us today. Yes, sir. Ooh, Naps from the 530. Where you at, bro? Chico? Yuba City? You from the Ville? Where you at? Problem. Yo. What's good? What's up with you, Walker? I'm glad y'all able to pull up today, man, because I wanted to talk about a couple of this free agency, a little bit of this free agency talk, a little bit of the draft talk. I don't want to get too much in the draft because I still have to do a lot more studying, man. I got a lot more studying to do, a lot more film to watch, a lot more catching up to do when it comes to the draft. I haven't done a mock draft because of that simple reason. I'm not going front and act like I know who every single guy in the draft is. I know there's a lot of content creators that are out there putting some draft content out, and more power to them. But personally, I really need to know what I'm talking about and what I'm looking at before I really put the info out there. You feel me? Y'all know I'm going to keep it 100, and y'all know I'm going to keep it solid. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you about this guy and that guy and say, I really like him, or that guy looks great, or this guy looks great, when really, I don't know. You know what I mean? How are you going to do a full mock draft, but you don't even know who the 6th round, 7th round, 5th, even 4th round guys are, right? There's you only know who like 2 guys in the 4th round is. So it's like, come on now, man. How y'all out here? Y'all can't push that false information to the nation. DeMarcus in the building would say, what's good with you? Shout out Richmond, Virginia, VA in the building. Yeah. Appreciate that. Akabusi in the building. AC, what's good with you, young blood? I see you, man. Shout out Kabur in the building too, man. Tap in. What's good with you, Gouda? Number Juan. That boy said number Juan Kardashian. That boy funny as hell. What's good with you, man? Good morning. Appreciate you pulling up. We early. It's still early. We only about 3-4 minutes deep. Make sure to make a play. Hit that like button when y'all pull up. Hit the subscribe button if you guys are new. But let me know what y'all want to talk about today. You see the title. You see the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about some wide receiver stuff. Probably dive into a little bit of the free agency and just a little bit of the draft. But the number one question I'll have for you today is going to be, would you rather have a starter, your wide receiver one, do you want your wide receiver one to come out of free agency, or do you want the wide receiver one to come out of the draft? I think this is a question that I came up with, that I was thinking about, and I'm going to let you guys know what I think here later on in the live. I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts. That's why you see the pool. I hope the pool is up. Can you guys see the pool? Let me know. Shout out 78. Yes, sir, bro. Grandmaster Mindless in the building. 209 in the building. Shout out if you're from Stockton, Merced, Modesto, Turlock, wherever you at in 209. Shout out 209, man. How's it going? Slayers in the building. That's a dope little profile picture. I like that, bro. Slayers. That's dope. What up, Ray? Repping Raiders from Tennessee. Shout out Tennessee, man. I got some folks out there. In Tennessee, man. I think they in where they at? Union. Where they at? Where you at, Paul? I think my people's is at Union City. Is it Union City? Eric Smith in the building. Eric Smith always pulls up, always giving some great information. Dirty Low in the building. Shout out Dirty Low. What's good with you, man? 805 always pulls up. Jangaline. 239. Where's 239? Let me know. Let me know what 239 is. Like I said, 239. You're going to have to let me know about that. He said from Chico. Yep, shout out Chico, boy. I remember going to Chico. In them younger days. You know what I mean? Having them Halloween parties out in Chico. The streets used to be flooded. If you know about Chico, it was lit. One Nation, Raider Nation. D1 Nature Boy. Shout out Nature Boy. He had hit me up on Instagram because I had posted a picture about, getting that Muay Thai on. He was like, boy, I be doing Muay Thai all the time. And shout out to you, bro. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. John Williams says, you calling us sheeps, huh? What, huh? What's up? John Williams came through with the haymaker. He says, you calling us sheeps, huh? What, huh? What you talking about, man? What you talking about? Elaborate, John, elaborate. Pablo Vista, Westside Kauai. Did I say that right? Kauai, excuse me. SoCal in the building. Yeah, you know SoCal going. When it comes to Raider Nation, SoCal deep. Raider Alex says, sign a free agent wide receiver to contribute immediately and draft one for the future. Raider Alex, look, I'm gonna touch on that. On that statement just in a little bit, on that comment in a little bit. What's up, Ray? Salute from 831. Shout out 831. My boy said Hawaii. Okay. Raider Nation for life. Yeah, you already know. Jesse in the building. What's up with you, man? What's up with you, Jesse? Glad you're able to make it. Jason Luong. Taco Bell is an elite fast food restaurant. Is it? Is Taco Bell? I don't know, bro. I don't know if Taco Bell is an elite fast food restaurant. Is it though? Elite? I don't know about elite, bro. That's questionable. Elite, there's only so many elite, right? There's only like 1, 2, 3 elite fast food restaurants. Is Taco Bell an elite fast food restaurant? I don't know, man. Hence the name Break the Tape. You feel me? I got to be on my A game. I can't be out here lying to y'all about, I like this guy. I like that guy. He's over here. Yeah, he'd be a great pickup in the 5th round pick. He'd be a starting. He's going to be the next fucking Tom Brady / Jerry Rice. Pick him up in the 5th, and he'll start immediately. No, I'm not going to do that to y'all. Just tell them other boys quit capping. Said, I agree. Alex signed free agent wide receiver and dropped one as well. Yep. I'm about to go check on this pool real quick just to make sure the pool is working. Just to make sure the pool is working. And so far it says free agency, 61% free agency so far. 61% says they would want a free agent to be wide receiver one to come out of free agency. So I definitely agree with that. We're almost 10 minutes down. So let's go ahead and hop into this untouchable. I see all y'all. I want to get everybody a shout out, man. Alex is in the building. EJ, shout out EJ. That's the boy right there. 916. Y'all know where I'm from. Y'all know where I'm at. We in the 916 with it. Ray, what's up with it? 209 back in the building with it. Yo, 209 is deep. 916 is deep out here. SoCal. I know SoCal is deep out here. We about to hop into it, man. Shout out NorCal Raider Jesse for putting the link down in the description. Always appreciative. Now let's get to the topic though. Let's get to the topic. We're about 10 minutes deep. We just hit the 100 people in the chat mark. Somebody make a play. We should at least have 100 likes. 100 likes. So everybody go make a play. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. But 303 is gonna get us started with this comment right here. He says free agency right off the bat. We need a proven playmaker ASAP. And that's exactly what I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down that road with you, 303, because there's no time to waste. There's no time to waste on a rookie dude to come in here, and we have to wait for his development. And I feel like that's been our biggest downfall the past, for a while now. That's been our biggest downfall for a while now. Easily been our biggest downfall because as Raider fans, it's almost like we expect a player we draft to take 3 years to develop. I don't know if that's just me, but I don't know. As a Raiders fan, I feel like that's the narrative, or that's what we always hear when it comes to rookies. Well, you have to give him 3 years. Colton Miller, after his 3rd year, he was great. Bruh, who wants to wait 3 years for every rookie that we draft that's supposed to start? Who wants to wait 3 years for them to develop? Definitely not me. I'm trying to win right now. And that's why I think we have to go to free agency. We have to go to free agency and get a wide receiver. Now, which wide receiver? That's up for discussion. That's definitely up for discussion. But in my opinion, we have to go to free agency to get our wide receiver one, because we can't sit here and wait for a player to continue to develop. Who are we waiting on to develop now? Alex Leatherwood. You feel me? How long is Alex Leatherwood going to take to develop? We can't afford that. You can't afford to wait for guys to develop, especially when you see the same guys at the same class doing way better in the division. You got Rashawn Slater playing for the Chargers, looking like he's going to be one of the best tackles in the league, right? We went out and got a rookie wide receiver in Henry Ruggs. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate you to pull up, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Cody said, Ray, what's up, man? At work on break, just popping in real quick. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you popping in. If you're at work, appreciate the love you being able to make it by. Stop by. Have a good day at work, man. Go get your money. Go get your money and stay blessed. Stay blessed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But back on topic, though, man. We got Henry Ruggs. We took the first receiver out of that draft. He did not develop. Excuse me. I won't say develop. He did not have the same production as other guys that we drafted. And it seems like we'll sit back and we'll be like, okay, yeah, we have to give him some time to develop. When are we going to be able to go into the draft and just hit on somebody that just comes out booming, comes out guns blazing? You know what I mean? Rookie performance, potential offensive rookie of the year, potential defensive rookie of the year type. You know what I mean? And that's why I think we have to go wide receiver one in free agency. And I think everybody in Raider Nation agrees, because so far it says 76%. So 3 out of 4 people so far are saying that we need to go get a wide receiver one in free agency. And I 100% agree. And like I said, who? I'm not 100% sure, but let's get back to the chat. And let's give a quick shout out to people in the chat that are pulling up here. We're only about 10 minutes deep. He says Robert Cisneros. Shout out Robert, man. Herman in the building. What's good with you, Herman? No, Herman, man. Herman always sniffing on that chronic. That boy need to send me something so I can roll it up in the backwood. Says Raiders. Yeah, he's making sure people know it's Raider Nation. Paul Burns says Jackson not far from Union City. Jackson. Shout out Tennessee. Raider Nation all over the country. From Kentucky, but currently stationed in Georgia. Yep, salute the service. Appreciate your service. Thank you for everything you do. Where you got? Fort Benning? Or probably not Fort Benning. Where's that? Fort Eustis? Or Stewart? They got a few out there, don't they? They got a few out there in Georgia. This day and age, we need a vet wide receiver for sure, but draft also. Exactly. Anthony says definitely a free agent for wide receiver one, maybe wide receiver 2 as well, or a second or third round. Yeah, would be fire. Definitely would be fire. Bourbon Country says salute Low. Yep, shout out Low. Got it. Simmons is 760. Shout out to this. What's that? Where's 760 at? I don't even know where that's at. Bro, it gets wild out here. Donnie says, bro, yes, it does, bro. Says coaching staff looking like a damn all-star lineup. It is. The coaching staff is looking great. But, man, we got a lot of people in here today. Chemo from Kalai. He says, Raider Nation for life straight out of Hawaii. I hope I pronounced that right. Shout out from Hawaii. 3:30 is Y-Town, Ohio in the house. Yo, we get people from all over the place, and I love it, man. Shout out everybody that's tuning in from all over the country. This fool sucks. I'm out. Oh, snap. That's one of my favorite comments so far. In this system, you need experienced wide receivers due to the high volume of choice routes. Cooks is my guy, Cooks. And I know a lot of people have been talking about Cooks going to trade for him. The fact that the Texans got everything they got going on. Who knows what they got going on behind the scenes, really. But what will we have to get up for Brandin Cooks? What we have to give up for Brandin Cooks? Because there's a potential. Everybody has their all-stars, right? Everybody has their all-stars. There's Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin. But Brandin Cooks is one of those guys that people are bringing up that's kind of on the under the radar kind of look. You know what I mean? One of those guys to where you could send potentially a later draft pick to the Texans and pick him up, and you'd get that production. You'd get a guy that is experienced. You'd get a guy that could be quickly input into this Josh McDaniels system because they played together before. They know each other very well. So with that right there, it makes too much sense to get Brandin Cooks, in my opinion. It just makes too much sense. And at what cost, right? And at what cost? So for a draft pick, not even a couple of them, for a draft pick, man. So I definitely like that line. Definitely like that. EJ says 559 Visalia. What's good with you, man? Be careful out there. Visalia, they be tripping, man, don't they? In Darkside's TV's post, you got us sheeps for not wanting to extend card. Oh, yeah. Well, look, you want to talk? I did my last live on the whole card thing, man. But John Williams, look, y'all need, if y'all follow me on Instagram, go ahead, follow me on Instagram, ready to tape. You already know how to go. But on Darkside TV, yes, I did leave a comment because I noticed a lot of people are just talking out their ass. People are just talking. I don't like that. I don't like when I'm going throughout Raider Nation, I'm talking to everybody, and other people are spewing out false information, bro. And that's annoying to me. That's definitely annoying to me. When people are willing to put out false information, they didn't study it, they didn't look it up themselves, they're just going off of somebody else's word. I don't like that. So for me, look, if you're going to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, this did blah, 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 and you're giving out false information, I'm going to call you a sheep. Don't be a sheep. Quit getting led by people that don't tell the truth. And that's basically how I seen it. Dang, Hawaii in the house. Shout out Corey K. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, I'm Mexican, bro. To call Taco Bell elite is just disrespectful. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Mike Morris in the building. He said, I'm with you. Why can't we get a JJ Chase type rookie? Exactly. Exactly my point, man. And that's what I'm talking about. There's plenty other wide receivers as well, Mike, because you think about it, like you said Chase. You got Justin Jefferson. You got Chase Claypool. You have guys. Obviously, we didn't draft a wide receiver this past year, but we have guys that were drafted this past year, like Jalen Waddle, that came out and did very well. Right? So why can't we find a guy, especially we were the first ones in the draft to pick up a receiver, and we still have to wait for him to develop? And then obviously the accident happened and whatever the case may be, but that's another story. That's definitely another story, man. Zebra says, I'm good with getting Cooks. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Grandmaster says, I'd give up a third rounder. Personally, I feel like we'd be able to get him for less than a third rounder. That's just my opinion. I feel like a fourth would do it, a fourth or a fifth. I honestly do. If we gave up a third for him, I don't know, a third for Cooks, that would probably be the most I'd want to send them. A third is the highest draft pick I'd want to send them for sure. This is for sure the highest draft pick I want to send them. And Max Raider says, give a fifth rounder. And that's what I would go for first. I'd be like, look, I'll send you a fifth rounder. If they don't want the fifth, I'll go fourth. And that's the highest I would go for Brandin Cooks is probably a fourth rounder. That's just me personally. A third rounder, I don't know. Because in this particular draft, I feel like a third round pick is crucial. A third round pick, because the draft is top heavy in so many positions, that the third round picks, there's still a lot of meat left on the bone when you get to that third round, right? When you get to that back end of the second, when you get to that third round, there's a lot of meat left on the bone. And then after that, it kind of falls off, in my opinion. So I would definitely try to hold on to that third. But if it took that, I'd be on the fence about that one. Definitely would be on the fence about that one. Raider Alex says, Raid, what is your favorite wide receiver from the draft currently? I mean, Treylon Burks, of course, but I'm not gonna say Treylon Burks because I just feel like, I mean, he's the top, he's like the top two. Can we agree that Treylon Burks is a top two receiver in the draft, right? So outside of Treylon Burks, I would say it's Treylon Burks, but outside of him, I need to watch more film on George Pickens, but I do like George Pickens. You know, I like Treylon Burks, but also Jalen Tolbert. Tolbert was the first receiver that I've ever posted on my Instagram, I ever talked about out of the draft. Jalen Tolbert was the first one. And then now that I'm moving on, I like George Pickens too. And the reason I like Jalen Tolbert is because I feel like we could pick him up outside of the first. I don't want to get a receiver in the first round. That's me personally. I don't. But I do like Jalen Tolbert. Think we could get him later, like in the third round. Think we could get a Pickens in the third round. And I think people were sleeping on Pickens just because he got hurt. And I don't like that. Honestly, I don't like that. I think we should see the opposite, or not the opposite, but the other way around, how he got hurt in the beginning of the season. He fought his way back, and he came back, with 4 games left in the season, and helped his team get to a point to win the national championship. Unlike players on our team like Waller, who quit on us at the end of the season and then want to come back. Hey, you know what I mean? Want to come back for one game. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you could knock Pickens for that. Yes, he had an injury at spring training before the season even started. It was a bad injury. It sucks, but you can't take away his game. You can't take away George Pickens' game. And I think Pickens is better than a lot of these receivers people are talking about, and they're just knocking Pickens because of that that preseason injury. So I do like George Pickens out of Georgia, though. So I would say outside of Traylon Burks, definitely Pickens or Tolbert. Philip says, just subscribe, bro. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you, Philip. Appreciate you. Hope to see you around, Vargas. But thank you for being able to pull up, man. Raider Nation, you already know how we rocking. Let's get down here. We got a super chat from Alexander Martinez. Appreciate you, Martinez. He says, bro, I think Goodwin is a true number one. He had Evan on the other side. Oh, he says, bro, I don't think Godwin is a true number one. He had Evan on the other side. And I agree with you, bro. I do not think that Godwin is a number one. I don't. I think Godwin is more like a Michael Gallup. I think he's better than Michael Gallup, but that's what I see. That's what I see Godwin as, Chris Godwin. I don't see him coming in being a true number one. And yes, he had you said he had Evans, but also he had plenty of other weapons. O.J. Howard, Rob Gronkowski, the Leonard Fournette running the ball very well, a good offensive line, a good play caller, very good staff with Tom Brady back there. And is that given to his production? No, I don't think so. I think Godwin was good before Tom Brady got there. I think Godwin has been good since he's been in the NFL. But has he ever been a number one wide receiver? No, he has never been that. If he came to the Raiders, he would be. But does that mean he is actually a wide receiver one? No, because being on the Raiders, being a wide receiver one doesn't mean that you are actually that guy. So I definitely agree with you, Alexander. But I do like Godwin. I would love to pick him up, but I definitely don't want to go out there and spend money on Godwin as if he's going to come in and be our wide receiver one. I wouldn't want to do that. Okay, we got Raider Nation Unlimited. Wasted Talent in the building. Shout out Wasted Talent. If y'all do not follow Wasted Talent, make sure to go follow him at Raider Nation Unlimited YouTube page. Go hit that subscribe button. He said, I would like to do both free agency and draft Cooks and a rookie. Now, this is an interesting dynamic because if you go out and get Cooks, would he be a number one? Would Cooks be a wide receiver one? I don't think so. I don't think Cooks is a wide receiver one. But if you go out and draft a rookie as well, would your rookie be the wide receiver one? So that's kind of the question I would ask personally. Would that rookie be the wide receiver one, or is Cooks the wide receiver one? I'm kind of curious what Wasted would say to that. But also on the flip side, do you really need a wide receiver one based off of how you would build your team, Wasted? Because you said you get Cooks, then you get your rookie. You still have Renfro. Would you need a wide receiver one? I don't know. Would you in this offense? Because if you look at the Patriots last year, who was their wide receiver one? You know, who was it? Are we going to get into this debate? We're going to get into this debate about Cooks being a wide receiver one? Are we going to do this debate? Uh-oh. I see people saying Cooks is a wide receiver one. We're going to get into it. Watch Bell zapping the Senior Bowl. The kid can find the end soon, but no pocket presence. But no pocket presence. Brandin Cooks. Is Brandin Cooks a wide receiver one, though? I don't see Brandin Cooks a wide receiver one. I'm sorry. Sorry. But Omar with the super chat, he says Bell zapping the Senior Bowl. What are we talking about quarterbacks for, though? Omar? Let me know, man. Let me know. Why are we talking about quarterbacks? Just shout out Jesse for pulling up, man. Dropping a link in the chat. Mike Castle says, hey, I actually finally made a live again. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being able to make it. Zebra 3 says Pickens is skinny. Well, honestly, man, honestly, man, a lot of these receivers nowadays are skinny. Like, can we let's be honest, man. A lot of these receivers nowadays are skinny guys. But George Pickens is 6'3", 200 pounds. 6'3", 200 pounds. That's not too small. If you look at Jamar Chase draft profile, I believe he weighed less, didn't he? Or was that Justin Jefferson? It could have been Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. Okay, so Jamar Chase weighed the same as him. What did Justin Jefferson weigh? Same. So Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase weighed the same as Pickens. That's not too small, in my opinion. I don't think he's that small. He might look skinny on the field, but the boy ain't skinny like that. Devontae Smith is skinny. Bro. And a lot of the receivers that people want in this draft don't even weigh 200 pounds. They don't. Unless you talk about the top end like Treylon Burks, Drake London. Obviously, those are first-round guys, right? Y'all talking in the chat. Love to see it. I stock chips and sodas and stuff. Rick's is more of the Y'all having y'all whole conversation. Mike Moore says, I'm at a line saying I'm over Edwards till he proves me otherwise. He should have stepped up after Ruggs' ordeal, but seemed to fade. I don't like Edwards. I wrote Edwards off early in the season. I wasn't a big fan of him. I remember me and CNG used to go back and forth. Shout out CNG. Go follow him if you don't. I think it's I can't remember what he changed his YouTube name to, but shout out CNG. I know y'all know who that is. But me and CNG went back and forth about Edwards before. And one thing I will say for certain is that I did not like him. And CNG tried to persuade me otherwise that he's supposed to be T.O. He's supposed to be T.O. Brian Edwards is supposed to be Terrell Owens, right? Because Gruden said that. Gruden also said that Trent Brown's supposed to be LeBron James of right tackles or something like that. Did he? So it's like for me, Brian Edwards, dude needs to go. Dude is not the truth. I'm sorry, but Brian Edwards is out of here. How are you the only person not getting production? How are you the only person? You're literally the odd man out. Hunter Renfrow getting production. Zay Jones came in. As time went on, Zay Jones' production went up. Zay Jones' stats went up. You look at Brian Edwards, his stats, everything about him has been the same. He might make one big catch in the fourth quarter. Wow. But I'm over Brian Edwards, bro. Mike Morris, if you over Brian Edwards, go ahead and say it, bro. I don't think you're out of line at all. To say Brian Edwards has not shown up. I don't think you're out of line to say Brian Edwards needs to show up and needs to get some production going because he hasn't done anything yet. And not only that, he was dealing with injuries in his first year. So I don't know if it's maybe the chemistry, if it's putting in the work, but he is the odd man out. When Waller is showing production, Renfrow, Zay Jones, every receiver really you put on this team gets some type of production besides Edwards. And I'm not a big fan. Sebastian, he says, how do you feel about North Dakota State wide receiver Christian Watson? Shout out Sebastian. Appreciate your service, man. Honestly, Christian Watson, I feel like his stock really went up because of the Senior Bowl. I did watch some of the Senior Bowl. Big guy, strong hands. Still have to watch his tape. I just seen him in the Senior Bowl. That's it. That's the only time I've seen him. And really, I didn't hear about him until afterwards. So is that where most of his hype come from? What kind of tape? What does his tape show? What is his tape show? And I'll have to go look at that. But based off the Senior Bowl, based off watching the one-on-ones and the practices, I did like what I see. But he's definitely gonna seem like he's gonna be a later, maybe a day 3 guy. I don't know. I don't know, man. He's probably going to be a day 3 guy, in my opinion. If not, then like a later day 2. But he's not. I'm telling y'all, man, this wide receiver class, it's pushed. It's so top heavy, in my opinion. And then all these guys are just grouped together in the middle of the draft, if you guys know what I'm saying. Like, who would you want to take in the first round when it comes to wide receivers? Treylon Burks, probably. Who else? Who else would you want to take in the first outside of Treylon Burks? So pretty interesting. Personally, I think that's what's interesting to me is that a lot of these guys are grouped in the later rounds. East Oakland King, shout out to the King. He says, I think you view Waller the same as me. How would you feel if he was traded, since there are rumors he's unhappy and the injury shit last year? Look, I was the only – look, I'm going to put it out here right now. I was the only content creator that came out and said, look, I'll trade Waller. I'm the only one. Everybody else was being a scary ass and was like, nah, you know, Waller's one of the best. You know, Waller's this, Waller's that. This dude had a messed up IT ban. How you have a messed up IT ban? You can't even come out and play. For how long? Like 6 weeks? How long was he out? Half the season? How long was Waller out? How many games? For an IT ban. Someone remind me, how many games was Waller out? Like let's be serious, yo. I'm not against that, King. I'm not against that because I'm ready to let him go. I'm ready to trade him, whatever the case may be, get something out of him. Because one thing is, okay, you having injuries now? So are you going to be injury prone? You're 30 years old. You're 30 years old now, bro. And you've only had a couple of years of worthy production since you've been in the league because you had prior problems. So in my personal opinion, you should be on your A game. Just because you got a little check, you got a little fame, whatever the case may be, now all of a sudden you're going to be missing games and you're out here being kind of lackadaisical about it. I'm good off Waller. I'm willing to trade Waller. I would trade Waller for a more proven NFL talent. I wouldn't trade him for picks, no. I wouldn't do that. I would trade him for proven NFL talent. I wouldn't want to trade him for anything else. I don't want no picks. He says, Prime says, don't play doctor. I'm not playing doctor, but I've had a hurt IT ban before. And I don't have to play doctor to know what that injury feels like or anything like that, especially if that's what's reported. Tossie. Now, Tossie, he likes Waller. He says he had one injury and now the nation wants to get rid of him. One injury, Tossie? You missed half the season, bro. Tossie, you missed half the season for what? What injury? What injury did he have that held him out half the season? And it's not like the season was, oh, okay, he could rest. Like, he could rest. He'll be all right. He could rest. No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. We needed him for a significant amount of time. Literally the whole time he was out, we needed him. He didn't come. And this is the thing that gets me. Everybody was like, oh, he's going to come back for the Colts game. No, because when I was talking about it, everybody's like, no, he'll be back for the Colts game. When the injury first happened, what happened? Oh, he's only going to miss 3 weeks. He's only going to miss 3 weeks. That motherfucker missed half the season. Everybody's saying he's going to come back for the Colts game. Didn't come back for the Colts game. He didn't come back for the Chiefs game. He didn't come back for the Colts game. He didn't come back for the Chargers game. Where was he? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found, bro. Severity differs, bro. He wasn't even practicing. It is an inflamed IT band. And he can't even practice. He wasn't on the field, bro. Why do you think he came back and wasn't as productive? Because he wasn't doing anything. The bro was just laying around, doing commercial stuff, doing advertisements. Come on, man. Like, come on, man. He says that had a snapback. No, this ain't a snapback, bro. This is a fitted. See, I got the raid on the side. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Yeah, he came back. He ain't doing nothing. Man. Trade for picks. The only reason I wouldn't want to trade him for picks is because, one, his contract is somewhat cheap for who he is. His contract is pretty cheap. Two, the draft picks, we don't know if those draft picks are going to or would translate into actually good players, right? That's why I'd want to trade Waller for actual good players that are proven NFL talent, whether that's like a defensive lineman, right? Whether that's an offensive lineman. We know we need that. We'd be able to save money that way. And we'd have proven NFL talent. We wouldn't have to sit there and be like, oh, we have to wait for them to produce. Oh, we have to wait to see who we draft with this pick. No, we're going out there and we're going to get a proven talent on our team. Not even true. Tight end dude gets 0 yards. Exactly, bro. When have you ever seen Darren Waller catch a ball and break tackles? When? When has he ever done that? He's never done that. Darren Waller never catches the ball, breaks a tackle, and takes it to the house. He's big and fast. Yes, I get it. He's a mismatch nightmare. But after you throw him the ball, if he catches it, because if his, you know what I mean, if he catches it, what does he do after that? Nothing, bro. Bro, he can get hit by the smallest guy on the field and he's going down, bro. I am telling y'all can't name a play to where, yeah, he's breaking off, breaking this tackle, breaking that tackle, juke this guy and took off. No, he's not doing what George Kittle does. He's not making a bunch of guys miss. He's not doing what Kelsey does. He's not making guys miss and running 40 yards downfield to close the game for a touchdown. No, he's not. Waller is vastly underpaid. No, he's not, bro. He is not vastly underpaid. Please stop that. Please don't do that. Please don't say he's underpaid. He's had literally one good season. Waller has had one good season, y'all. Are y'all kidding me right now? Like, bro, this man has had one good season and we treat him like he's Jesus Christ. Like we can't, like he's not able to be moved. Like, bro, what? Make sure y'all go back and check. Make sure y'all go back and check that man. IT band injuries take months. No, they don't, bro. This is absurd, bro. I talked about that IT band injury thing for so long because I had a bad IT band, and I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that, bro. Google IT band injury and read it right now. Bro, I don't have to read it, bro, because I had the same thing. What do you mean? I'll be tweaking. I'll be here tweaking. Like, I don't do my own research. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to speak some facts. He said exactly. Injured ads aren't running. Waller was picked up from a practice squad. Dropped $6 million per year on him, but we need to pay. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Quit capping. Y'all be acting like Waller is like just the best thing ever since sliced bread. Bro, we went to the playoffs without him. We went to the playoffs without Waller. Our wide receiver one. Our best receiver. Come on. Hear me out now. Don't act like I'm not going to sit up here and try to steer y'all wrong. Please don't act like I'm trying to steer y'all wrong. But the fact that he can be out for half the season and we still make the playoffs. You go out at the most crucial time. You play through that shit. An IT band hurts that bad that you cannot play half the season. Is that what you're telling me right now? So everybody in the chat that's going to sit here and defend Waller because he had an IT band injury. Oh my gosh, he had an IT. But the rest of the teammates are playing with torn labrums. Huh? Josh Jacobs is freaking crawling off the field. But he can't run because he has a sore IT band. And everybody in the chat is going to baby Waller and say, oh, he needs a couple months to rest. This trade is fucking ass. Y'all about to piss me off with that. Talking about, oh, Waller's IT band hurts. Look it up. Google it. Fuck out of here, bro. Right, always keeping it. Yeah, bro. He quit. Yeah, bro. There's no other way around it, dog. There's no other way around it. I'm sorry. Quit trying to defend that man. Sheesh. Trading for Hopkins. I wish. But at the same time, I would keep Waller over Hopkins. And I'm not saying that Waller is better. Hopkins is the highest paid receiver. You know what I mean? Do we really want to go, Hopkins, would we want to pay him $28 million? That'd be too much. Goody Good says that's nuts. These cats want to keep Carr, get rid of Jacob and Waller. Jesus. Hell yeah. What, you want to smoke? Somebody want to smoke today? Quit capping, bro. Why the hell would you? Why would you? Hold up. I'm not even gonna go down that road. I'm about to tear his ass up. You only got a profile picture. I ain't even gonna talk to you. LV Maximus in the building says Waller doesn't want to play anymore. He has had a history of not having heart for the game. Obviously, he has. I mean, Maximus, you said it, bro. He has a history of not having heart for the game. And The history is there, and I'm not holding his past against him. I'm not holding his past against him at all. So I don't want you guys thinking I'm holding Waller's past against him. I'm not. I'm talking about what happened during the season while he was with the Raiders. I don't care what he did when he was with the Ravens before we signed him. Nah. I'm talking about how he quit on us midway through the season. Midway through the season because an IT ban. That gotta be the biggest joke. Y'all make an excuse for a guy because of IT ban, but we got players out here playing on some torn meniscus and shit. Like what? Y'all tripping, bro. Straight out of this world, man. Out of this world. All right, let's get back to it. I got had to look at something real quick. Shout out Jesse, man. Appreciate you dropping that super chat, though, bro. One game, Sean. If you can only name how many games has he played for us, bro? And you can only name one game. You can comment down, and it took you probably 5 minutes to think, when did he do? Oh, one game against the Jets. Against the fucking Jets. Against the Jets. Are you kidding? That's the best we can do. Yeah, he had one great game to where he broke a fucking tackle against the Jets. How many tackles did he break? Like one? Give me a break, bro. Like Jets game last time. Bro, was that even last year? Was that even last year? That wasn't even the Jets game from this year. That was the game from the previous year, right? So you have to go back 2 seasons to tell me how this dude can break tackles. Y'all don't even make no God. Oof. I'm about to be in here going crazy. He's a possession receiver. Yak isn't his game. Yeah, he's just big and fast, and he's a mismatch nightmare, and I give him that credit. Outside of that, what does he do? Every tight end in the fucking league is a mismatch nightmare. Like, bro. Said Ray, so if we trade Waller, would you draft another or get one via free agency? I would get one free agency. There's a bunch of tight ends, in my opinion, in free agency. But I don't want to get carried away with this. I think we, you know what I mean, we get a little off the rail when it came to Waller. I'm not saying we have to trade him, right? We have Waller on a very good contract. Waller is a very good tight end. But when you start to get down to the nitty-gritty and you guys want to talk about, oh, pay him more. Or no, he shouldn't get traded at all because he's the greatest thing since Jesus Christ. No, that's not true because he quit on us halfway through the season. Tell me I'm lying. There's no denying that. He's getting paid $7 million a year. What was he getting paid before that? Also, he's 30 years old. So you're dealing with an IT ban that takes several months to heal. He came into this season injured. Do y'all not remember Waller came into this season with injuries? How the hell you come into the season with injuries, bro? You wasn't playing football for the last 5 months. Bro, come on. Didn't come back until the lights were on. Thank you. Exactly. Look at that shit, man. Kid had 1 year of production. Exactly, bro. His body of work. This is IT ban syndrome. IT ban syndrome. Think about that. Think about what you said. IT ban syndrome can take a couple weeks to several months. Since we're playing doctor, several weeks to several months. He missed several months of football for an IT ban that could have took a couple of weeks. Also, continue to read that because you can play through an IT ban. All it does is cause discomfort. That's it. You don't get surgery. You literally take ibuprofen, you ice it, and you sit your ass on down. That's it, bro. Like, stop, man. Stop. He wasn't even practicing, bro. This man wasn't even practicing. He said, "You know, shit. I'm not an NFL player, but I still feel pain. I still feel pain. Quit that. You're not NFL, bro. If you say that, then we can't sit up here and talk about football at all because I'm not an NFL. At the end of the day, if you say that, then we cannot talk about any football because technically I'm not an NFL player. Neither are you. Neither are a lot of people in the chat. So then technically everything we say, we just can't say because we're not NFL players. Like, come on, man. Don't use that argument. You're not an NFL player. Bro, what? What? Yeah, I don't think Ziegler and McDaniels trade him. I think he's one of the reasons they came here. They love tight ends. They love tight ends. What's that? Different severity? Bro, different severity? Y'all baby this man Waller. Y'all babying Waller, bro. This motherfucker got his whole tattoo bodied up. And y'all talking about he in some, and y'all babying him like he can't deal with an IT man. Y'all serious, bro? Oh my God. I finally caught you on the chat. What do you think is the most important player to acquire to help scoring in the red zones? Love DC forever. Perfect timing, bro. Perfect timing. Perfect username for this moment, man. Perfect. Appreciate the super chat, bro, because they own me. They own me about Waller, man. They treat Waller like it's their newborn child or some shit. Yes, bro. What are you confused about? I think you're confused because what I'm saying is that players play with these kind of injuries. Players play with these kind of injuries. Go ahead and look what an IT band does. What is the cause? What is the cause? What is it doing when you get an IT band syndrome? What is it doing? Just go read it. Y'all about to piss me off, man. Y'all sound ridiculous. Let me get to my boy Super Chat because he has the best username in this thing. He says, "What do you think is the most important player to acquire to help the scoring in the red zone?" Ooh, what do you think is the most important player to acquire to help the scoring in the red? That's a good one, bro. Damn, that's a good one, bro. Mike Morris, he said, people really web him being IT banned and telling you you're wrong. It's like, bro, I don't have to look. Bro, I was going to the doctors. They was giving me freaking flyers. They was giving me flyers and prescriptions for the IT ban. Like, bro, I was going to the doctors for this. They gave me the flyers. They told me what stretches to do, to ice it, to rest. They gave me my prescription. Like, I don't have to go. You know what I mean? They're going to research it right now when I've already been through this. When I went to the doctor and they told me I had IT band syndrome, and every time I bent my knee, it would move and rub against my knee, against my bone. People trying to tell me I'm wrong. Like I wasn't running 5, 6, 7 miles on a bad IT band. And I was like, yeah, I could get over this. People trying to tell me I'm wrong. Straight tripping, bro. That's a good question, though. This is a very good super chat. And I want to see y'all go ahead and let me know down here. Holy smokes, am I that far behind? Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I'm that far behind in the chat. Oh my goodness. Sorry if I'm that far behind and I'm just getting to your super chat, brother. But we was on a topic. God, the chat's on fire right now, man. We going in. But he says, finally caught you on chat. What do you think? And the most important player, just to answer your question, man, honestly, oh man, that's a tough one. What do you think is the most important player to acquire to help the scoring in the red zone? I would say, dang, that's tough, man. Most important player, I would just say wide receiver, bro. I would say wide receiver. And the reason I say that is because when you look at our red zone and our most success, personally, what I think we've been very successful at is when Derek Carr throws people the ball like Bryan Edwards and Michael Crabtree. I know some people might not want to hear that. Some people might say, oh, I don't know, we need this and the third. But I think we need a receiver that DC can throw the ball to in one-on-one situations like we did with Bryan Edwards here and there. Bryan Edwards isn't consistent enough, and I don't like him, but he's just an example of the type of receiver. And then you go on Michael Crabtree, where we're able to hit him one-on-one. It's just a one-on-one matchup. Remember when we were playing the Saints and we went for it? We were going for the win. And we had a one-on-one matchup with Michael Crabtree on the outside. He wins it. Remember when we were playing KC? It was Thursday Night Football. We were playing KC, and Carr hits him in the corner of the end zone, darts it with zero on the clocks, right? The game was over. And we need a receiver like that to where DC could just boom, put it right there on the money on him. Or put it in the back of the end zone. We've done that so many times with different receivers having DC. I think that's a con. So that's what I would say, brother. Appreciate the super chat. Jason Hall, shout out Jason Hall. He says he also had a back injury as well, which later that year was reported to be a slip disc. Keep that in mind. I work in physical therapy, by the way. The thing with his back injury, right? That was something that was supposedly lingering from the previous year. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, he played the beginning of the year. So are you saying that he was playing with a slip disc, but then gets an IT band injury and then doesn't play because of an IT band injury, but will continue to play? What would be worse now? Because now that we got y'all saying I'm not a doctor, right? Whatever. Because I'm just saying by personal experience having an IT band, being whatever. Let's get over that. But he's saying it's slip disc. And I've heard people say this, that he was dealing with a back injury. So would you be more worried about playing with a fucking slip disc or an inflamed tendon in your knee? That's an IT band. And mind you, an IT band is not like you're going to tell an MCL or an ACL, which people do play on bad MCLs and ACLs. But would you rather play with a slip disc or an inflamed IT band? Matter of fact, go look up, everybody if you're all the WebMD doctors that are in here that were trying to go back and forth with me, go look up the recovery on a slip disc. Go ahead and look up recovery on a slip disc. And then tell me how long did he stay out for that slip disc? Because that didn't happen the same time he got that knee injury. It did not happen. And I'm so glad he brought this up because it's only going more towards my point that he quit more than it was the injury. Because you would stop playing if you had a slip disc before you would stop playing before you had an inflamed IT band. That's 100%. No way around that. Where the person says if Clutch Sports be on some BS, that's when we should trade him. Let a desperate team overpay and give us high draft picks. Exactly, man. Exactly. And if he does want to go that route, I think we have the guys in place that'll say, yeah, we're not dealing with that. I feel like, the New England guys, they don't really deal with that. So we do have guys in place. But again, let me digress because I feel like this conversation went to the whole left. You know what I mean? It went way out the window. It's not that I don't like Waller. It's not that I don't think Waller's a great football player, a great tight end, top three, top five, right? It's just the fact that the way he came out last year, right, dealing with lingering injuries, whatever the case may be, then he sits out half the season, and just his lackadaisical attitude about it. And then now people in the chat was just trying to get at me and baby this man, like y'all not grown men trying to baby another grown man. That was just me. That's all it is, man. That's all it was. But appreciate y'all pulling up, man. I'm just appreciative of y'all being out here. Herman Schmidt said he's Army, bro. My God, Raiders. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. I was in the Army for a good while, and that's why I hurt. That's when my knee was messed up. I had to go to the doctors. Didn't stop me though. 1 year of production, the man had back-to-back 1,000-yard season. He had a bad 10 weeks. He had a bad 10 weeks due to injury and mental issues. Y'all really want to get rid of elite talent. 1 year of production. So are you saying you want to say 2 years of production? Is that what you're saying? 2 years of production? He's 30 years old? This man says rap or football. You talking about me? Well, I don't rap. I'm not Graph. I don't rap. Yo, Randy Wild, and he had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Yeah. Most definitely did. I think my point of emphasis, though, is that last year was that year. That year he came off of the special teams, because you guys got to think he was with us in 2018. He was with us in 2018. He was with us in 2018. He was popping off. Had a couple. And the crazy thing is, he's popping off, getting a lot of yards, but he only had 3 touchdowns, which was weird. And then you fast forward to last year, and the reason I say last year, and I use that as my example, is because he was breaking records. Let's keep it real. He was breaking records, bro. When you go out there and you're breaking wide receiver records on the Raiders franchise, because you know we've had some of the greatest wide receivers, right? So when as a tight end, you go out there and you break franchise records as a tight end for receiver records, that's kind of where I was going with it, is that all his hype really was based off last year, getting 12 touchdowns, getting over 1,000 yards, getting so many receptions. It wasn't really the 2019 season. Yeah, he's over 200 pounds. He's way over 200 pounds. But like I said, that's why I said I don't want this to go left or go out of the way to think that I don't like Waller, to think that Waller's a bad player or anything like that. I just think he quit, and I didn't like that. And I'm willing to trade him, and I wouldn't be mad at that. He said, boys in the NFL, he has access to good docs. It's not going to take much. Bro, nobody's trying to, at this point, it seems like nobody's trying to hear it, Giovanni. It's just funny because it's like they get the best medical attention in the world. Who else is getting better medical attention than the NFL? And it took him nearly 2 months to come back off an inflamed IT band. Motherfucker, if you don't pop a couple of ibuprofens, sit your ass down for a week and come back out and finish playing. Waller owed more to the team and fans to at least practice and show he wants to come back. That was my biggest concern, is that he didn't practice. They couldn't even give a timeline. Matter of fact, they did give a timeline. Then they had to go back on it because of, obviously he didn't want to play. Obviously, he still wasn't practicing. He wasn't even walking around. Like, he says Waller started complaining about double teamed. I heard there was something about he wasn't getting enough targets as well. Does anyone remember that Carr came back after 2 weeks with a broken back? That boy, I see why your name is Ender Slayers, because you just ended them. You just slayed them boys. Haymaker. Matter of fact, I want y'all to go look up right now, all the WebMD doctors. I want y'all to go look up how long does it take to recover from what did Carr have? What was the proper term or proper nomenclature, whatever you want to go by, that Carr had? He had a broken what? Or a fractured something? What did Carr have? And then go look up and see how long it takes to come back. So you telling me that Carr's tougher than Waller? Let's not even go down that way, because when you bring in Derek Carr, it just starts a whole different conversation, and we're only talking about the injuries, but it'll turn into something else. Someone will be like, "Well, how many times did Carr fumble?" And I'll be like, "What the hell? We're talking about injuries." Oh man. And then this stuff, bro. You have to remember Darren Waller is an ex-drug addict, and any drugs that they would try to put in the system, even this ibuprofen, he's going to refuse it. What? Bruh, y'all act like people just because they was popping pills and stuff, act like these people are just, oh no, man. Y'all, it's a fucking ibuprofen, bro. I'm sorry. Look, I can't, you know what I mean? I'm not from the suburbs or nothing, but boy, I've been around some people, and they probably doing a lot harder. They've done harder drugs and whatever the case may be. They'll still pop ibuprofen and be like, I feel better. So, and even if you're saying he wants to stay healthy and he doesn't want to have anything go inside his body or anything, so you're telling me that he wouldn't get surgery and take the medication after getting surgery? Like, bro, like, come on, bro. What is we even talk about? What are we even talking about? Aaron says LV hat from residency is back in stock. Should I get the black with silver LV or white with white LV? I would say this is the black. I got the black with the white LV. This one's pretty cool. I like the black with the white. Probably go with this. Probably, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if he went with the silver, just because black and silver. You gotta be mad at that. I would say go with the black and silver though, man. Because if they had the black and silver, I probably would have got it. Honestly, I think at the time when I bought this is the only one they had. But personally, I probably would have got the black and silver personally. Dang, we've been on here for an hour? Damn, we've been on here for an hour. He says Waller quit on us. He doesn't want to be here. Stop crying about Waller's injury. If he doesn't want to be here, time to bounce. Exactly, bro. Like it's crazy because you'll sit here and defend a player about his game, right? About whether he's good or not, about whether we should have this game or not. But then when it comes to like a guy having an injury and showing toughness and being out there with his team and playing through it, then all of a sudden it's like we gonna baby you. It's like, bro, this is a grown man now. You gonna baby? Oh no, this shit crazy. Obviously, he played with it. That's why I got bruh. I appreciate the super chat, but bro, there's no way you finna sit here. We've been on here for an hour, man. I'm about to pop the link into. I'm about to pop the link. See if anybody want to pull up real quick. Cause I know I seen some of y'all talking about. Let me see real quick. Where this man wasted at? Where this man wasted at? Who this man wasted is available real quick. I know it's last minute. I'm hitting him up last minute. If he's available, he's available. If not, it's all good. I'll give it a couple minutes, see if he's able to pull up, chop some game with him. But dog, how are you gonna say he played through it when he got? He didn't play through it though, bro. He didn't play through it, man. What do you mean? We just got done talking about how he didn't play through. How do I respond to this super chat? Somebody help me with this one. Somebody help me with this one. Holy shit, I'm far behind. Bringing Allen Robinson, right tackle in free agency, draft defense, defensive tackle. We always give them 1-year contracts, 100% Hop. Is your last name Hopfinger? Is your last name really Hopfinger? Are you trolling me? Dang, are you trolling me right now? Mm-hmm. Bringing a right tackle at free agency, I 100% agree because I do not want a rookie at right tackle. I do not want a rookie next to Leatherwood. I do not want a rookie on the O-line. So we have to go out there and get a veteran right tackle. And honestly, I'll be 100% honest. No, we don't get Morgan Moses. Although that's somebody I wanted to get, I don't see us getting Morgan Moses because the cost. I just don't. It just might cost too much. It might cost a little bit too much. Allen Robinson, 100% agree. I like the way he plays, and I think the way he plays will match Derek Carr. Draft defensive tackle. This is the draft to get a defensive tackle. Definitely. And the fact that last year the Patriots went and got Christian Barmore, and this is what people have to realize. The Patriots last year traded up to get Christian Barmore. Right? And he was technically he was that number 1 defensive tackle. Something like that. Projected. So I could see us definitely getting a D tackle early in this draft. Just based off the fact that last year the Patriots did it, traded up to get Barmore. And if there's a guy we like, I mean, there's a bunch of different guys out there. You got the boy from Nevada. You got the boy. You got Wyatt. You know what I mean? You have obviously Jordan Davis. That's a little bit earlier. I feel like he'd be one of the first guys to go. But I feel like if there's a guy we really like, I could see us trading up. I can see us trading up to get a defensive tackle just based off the fact that there's a good bunch of them, a handful of them, going in that first to early third that we could potentially, hey, if we want to trade up in the second and go get a defensive tackle, I could see Ziegler doing that. He did it last year. We always give, yeah. That's why I have no defensive tackles on the roster right now because we gave all of them. He says, yeah, man, but torn disc, slip disc can take years to heal. The fall on that IT band injury could have flared up his back. It's all about perspective. Discs don't heal unless you have natural stem cells. Sheesh. Yeah, see, yeah, look, man. Mike Castle says WebMD. He said, yo, Ray, you smoke before the live? I didn't, man. That's probably why I'm in here turned up. Right after this, though, I'm rolling up a fat backwood. I'm finna go relax. Anthony Cornwall says we lost our 2 first games after he probably did give up. Love Waller, but I have questions about his commitment when going gets tough. That's a good point, bro. It is crazy because it's not like I'm dissing Waller. It's not like I'm sitting here talking about, hey, I don't like Waller. Yeah, he's 29 years old right now, but by next season even starts, he will be 30. Next season, he will be 30. We did lose, and that's what I'm saying, bro. And it's not like I'm bashing Waller and saying, oh, Waller's a bad football player. I never said that once. This is really just about the game, about him actually stepping up, being a team player, right? Putting the team first. So that's just all it is. That's really just all it is for me, man. Honestly, I just didn't like his body language, how he was. I just didn't think it was. I don't think it was real. I don't think bro was keeping it 100 when he could have been. Raider Rick says, "What's up, Ray? Good show. Appreciate that, brother. Glad you're able to make it. Glad you're able to be here." Oscar Gill says they told you to rest your IT band, but you were mad at that Waller rested. I never rested my IT band, man. I never rested it. My fault, man. I didn't rest my IT band, so my fault. Says you didn't have $1 million at stake either if you hurt yourself. Worse. That's true. That's true. But I think you kind of missed the point that the IT band isn't like a ligament of the ACL. It's not the same. An IT band causes discomfort, man. And not only that, we just got done talking about a slip disc. How the hell are you gonna play with a slip disc but not a inflamed IT band? I'm off this IT band talk though. Anyway, man, I didn't have $1 million at risk. No, I didn't. Sorry, I'm not a millionaire, not an NFL player. So apparently, if you're not a millionaire NFL player, you have no idea what it's like to have any injuries. What I did, you don't even know what pain feels like. What's crazy is if you had a slip disc, why would you risk millions of dollars and play with bad slip disc, with a bad back? I would play on a bad knee before a bad back. Let's keep it 100. Bulldog says, this is a genuine question. Do players who quit on their team usually come to the games in street clothes to show support? Hell nah. Motherfuckers let it be in that free gear they get from the team. He is big. Exactly. That motherfucker mismatch nightmare. Jared Hotfinger says, yes, that's my last name. All good. Thank you for the content. Keep up the good work. It's all good, bro. I was looking at like Hotfinger. Boy, they probably out there torturing you with that last name because my last name is Guess. For those who don't know, my last name is Guess. So I got an interesting last name as well. He says, peace. I'm asking Waller. Good discussion. He says, I'm asking Waller. Ask Waller, man. Tell Waller, pull up. I'm finna get on that boy right now. Finna get on that. Pharaoh in the building says, how long you on for? I'll probably be on for another little good second, man. Bing bow. Go ahead, Pharaoh. Pull up on us, man. Go ahead, Pharaoh. Pull up on us. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro. I got you. Oscar. What's it, Oscar? Who's Oscar? Don't be calling each other clown, man. I'm not a big fan of calling each other's names, man. He says, my last name is Turnip Speed. Turnip Seed. You a damn lie. This man said my last name is Turnip Speed. There's no way your last name is Turnip Speed, bro. There's no way. He says, and actually all this is kind of done because Waller wouldn't last through spring training with dynamic duo in charge. I hear you, man. AC in the building says, would it be Ray tapping in one time to show my support? Appreciate you being able to make it, you bar. Glad you're able to be here, show a little bit of support. Oh, yep, I see you, bro. I just seen that comment. My fault. Let me see what Tassi. Can we move on? It's like car arguments. We're gonna support the players we like. Tassi, 100%, bro. 100%. 100%. He said, Google it. Aaron Turnspeed. Shout out Farrell, man. He pulled up on us to see what Farrell got going on, man.
What's going on, man? How you doing? How you doing, man? It's been a minute.
It's good. It's good. It's good, man. How you doing?
Pretty good, bro. What's up? What we talking about? All I heard was Waller and shit.
They was getting on me about the Waller thing, bro. But we're gonna go ahead, like Taji said, we're gonna go ahead and move on, man. Because
look, if you talking about replacing, if you talking about replacing Waller, I think
no. That's not even what I said. And that's why I had to digress, because I think people were taking what I was saying a little bit too far. Because I never once said to replace Waller. Because I don't think you can replace Waller personally. I think you can get a lot of production out of the tight end spot, but I don't think you can replace Waller because he's so big and he's so fast, right? Mismatch nightmare. For me, it's just the fact that how he carried himself. Personally, I think he quit on the team. He could have played through an injury that he didn't when it was crucial timing, when we needed him the most. And then even when he came back, he didn't do nothing. On top of that, he wasn't even practicing the whole fucking time. Like, bro, you wasn't doing nothing, bro. What was you doing the whole time? Just chilling? Sitting back, chilling, kicking it for fucking half the season. And that right there, to me, I was just like, damn, that's kind of weird, bro. I don't know. I just didn't like that. And that's why I brought up, look, I'm willing to trade Waller. I don't think we'd miss too much if we got rid of Waller, in my opinion. We've had tight ends year after year come in here and be productive. You know what I mean? So to me personally, I just don't think and not only that, bro, did we win without Waller? Did we make it to the playoffs without Waller?
That's a good point. We went on a run.
So, I mean,
but I will say this, because just due to his contract and the fact that, you know, he's a talented player, I feel like we can get a first round pick for him. But the team that gets him is probably going to have to sign him to a new contract, because that's what he's looking for.
I don't think they would have to, bro. He's still on for about 3 years, ain't he?
But you know how it works. You know what I mean? When a new player of that caliber goes to a new team, usually they sign a new deal. But that being said, like, I was thinking about an idea, and I heard some other people talk about it as well, is that, you know, McDaniels, his history when it comes to offense, he had a lot of success with that 2 tight end offense.
Yeah.
So I like Moreau. He's a solid tight end, but I'm thinking about if the Raiders can get Njoku from Cleveland, he a free agent, 25 years old, another dynamic tight end. You team him up with Waller, he could block. He's athletic. You know what I'm saying? You team up with Waller, but then let's say, for example, because right now I don't think Waller has any leverage. He had a bad season. He was hurt. He still got some years left on his contract. But I do think after this year in this offense with McDaniels as a play call and offensive mind, he's going to have a big year. So most likely he's probably going to want to, you know, get that raise after the season.
Trade his ass. If he asks for a raise, trade his ass. Get his funky ass
out of here. And then we still got Njoku at 25 years old. If we sign, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's kind of
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So
personally, I think McDaniels kind of came here because of Waller. He's like, shit, we got Waller. He likes his tight ends. You know what I mean? Waller, one of the best tight ends. I could do a lot with him, you know. Plus DC, I think he likes DC, but kind of like let me see. Kind of like John Doe right here says, bro, move on from Waller topic. I hear you, brother. He says, who do you see is picking up in the free agency to fix the offensive line?
Right, it got to be a right tackle.
Yeah,
you got to go at right tackle. But and these rumors dropped yesterday, and the Texans are basically putting 3 players on the trade block. I heard Laramie Tunsil, Brandin Cooks, and I forgot there was another third player that they're probably throwing in there as well. But Brandin Cooks, I for sure definitely want to get him. But Laramie Tunsil,
I'm not getting him.
Why not?
Because I think his cap hit is $20 million. And then we'd also have to give up probably a first rounder, maybe a second.
He's one. Do you not agree that he's one of the most talented tackles in the league?
He's one of the better tackles in the league, but what side does he play on?
I would put him on the left. I would put him on the left, and because Colton Miller, I know he plays left tackle, but what position did Colton Miller play in college? He played right tackle.
Yeah.
So I would move him to the.
Brother. We agree on a lot of things, but I'm about to torch your ass right now.
Go ahead.
This motherfucker just got comfortable. At left tackle. It took us 3 to 4 years to develop this man to be where he is today. Not only that, we just signed him to an extension, paying him $15 a year,
which is a good contract.
And after all that, we're going to move him and say, all right, fuck all that development, fuck that contract and everything up to this point, and move you to right tackle so we could trade for a guy who we have to give a first-round pick for, who we have to pay $20 million. But I believe he gets $20 million, right? His cap hit next year, something like that.
Yeah, I seen it was like someone 20 mil.
And bring him in and say, you're going to be left tackle now. And Cole Miller, you'll be right tackle. So we'll have $35 million tied up in the offensive line when we just got rid of Rodney Hudson and Gabe Jackson and Trent Brown because they were too expensive.
That was the old regime, though. That was the old regime.
Look, man. The thing is when it's the narrative, right? Raider Nation has a narrative for everything. The Raider Nation, we had to get rid of our offensive line last year. What was the narrative? We had to get faster. We had to get younger. We had to get cheaper. Now all of a fucking sudden, we're gonna throw the bag at the whole offensive line. We need Corbett. We need Morgan Moses at right tackle. We need Corbett at left guard or whatever the case may be. Now we got to bring in now it's Laramie Tunsil, who we have to give a first-round pick to and $20 million and pay him $20 million. Shout out Wasted pulling up on us. And let me see if I can. Someone got y'all faces all up in here like you're trying to do a portrait painting or something. All right, let's get it.
Salute.
But now I'm not saying that Laramie Tunsil is bad. I'm not saying that at all. I think he is a good offensive lineman. But I just don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Because I feel like we can get some mediocre guys. Personally, hear me out. We can get some mediocre guys. We don't need a guy that's better than Colton Miller playing tackle. We just need a guy that's better than fucking Brandon Parker. Can we do that? I think that's pretty easy.
Yeah, see, I mean, they already got a guy on the roster that's better than what we have at right tackle, and that's Illuminor. You know, Illuminor right now is going to be a free agent, but Illuminor played for the Patriots. He played well. And what people don't realize is in that scheme, he's a fit. You know, Tom Cable doesn't like big physical linemen. He runs his own scheme. He likes guys who can get out there and block and move. He made Colton Miller lose weight. You know, so I think Illuminor, you can bring him back in and plug him at right tackle. You don't have to go out there and throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I think, to be honest with you, in this draft, you know, they have to establish themselves as a functioning organization. They have to get it right in the first round. You know what I mean? As opposed to just trading that thing away and bringing on more salary cap, restrictions. Because listen, we understand that going forward, they got to pay the nucleus of this team next year. They're gonna have to pay Max Crosby. They got to pay, Hunter Renfrow. They got to pay all of these guys, and you don't want to add on another high ticket guy that you didn't draft. And then with Waller, like what you and people say move on from Waller. I really want to say this, and that's why I pulled up. Let me tell you something, man. One pony don't stop the show. Darren Waller is represented by Clutch Sports, which is LeBron James and all of them, and you can see what their pattern is. It's no coincidence that he dogged it for the year. The same thing that Ben Simmons did, same thing Anthony Davis did when he got Clutch Sports, when he forced his way out of New Orleans. See, the difference is this is football. You can't do that. And then the thing that bothers me is that once he saw things going in a positive direction, now you want to come back. Now they're about to go to the playoffs. Now you want to participate. Now you want to be a part of the team. So guess what? He's a fucking tight end. He's a tight end, bro. Listen, they've made tight ends better. And they've made tight ends after him right now that are on the market right now that I feel like are physically almost as talented as Darren Waller. I really do. I think that the kid Njoku from the Browns is super talented. I think Mike Gesicki's super talented. You know what I mean? So listen, if you can get something substantial for Darren Waller, because the rumors that were coming out of camp was that he had a problem with Derek Carr and that he said, if Derek Carr comes back, I'm not. You have not done anything in the National Football League to make that kind of big boy move. So if he did that, I say package him and get as much as you can for him. I don't give a shit. I'm serious. He's just a fucking tight end, man.
If y'all heard it here first, I 100% agree with everything that man just said. Because
See, the issue I have with what Wasted said was Illuminor, but what I know you said that he came from that Patriot system, and he most likely might be coming back with the Raiders just because there's that familiarity. But that being said, why did he not get any PT at right tackle when it was a struggle the whole year at that
time? Tom Cable is a fucking idiot, bro. Tom Cable went to the Seattle Seahawks and fucked their lineup. This is not the first time. Tom Cable is one of these coaches that are old school and has one way of coaching. He has one way of developing players, and he thinks that his way or the highway.
Arrogant.
So he's an arrogant, dumb jerk off, and he should have never been our offensive line coach. It's the same thing with Paul Gunther. Look at the difference between some of these guys that played under Paul Gunther and how they played under Gus Bradley. There's a marketable difference, right? So because you got some guys who can't look at talent and see what they have and adjust on the fly and come in the room and say, hey, listen, you know what? I have a guy who's 345 pounds. He's a big lumbering guy. I got another big lumbering guy. I have a big lumbering guard. Maybe I shouldn't run a fucking zone. How about that? You know what I mean? That's the problem. So, like, don't ever look at the previous coaching staff that we had here as if they're the gospel on whether a player can play or not.
Nope.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna just go with Illuminor as like the main option at right tackle. I definitely want some competition over there just so we can, get the best tackle to come out in a training camp to play that position.
I definitely do, bro. I definitely do.
Let me touch on this comment from Tassi real quick, because it was something that Farrell was speaking on earlier, and it didn't give Farrell a chance to kind of rebuttal on the Laramie Tunsil kind of trade he was kind of talking about. Tassi, just let me get this in real quick. Tassi said Raiders will only take a $9.5 million if we trade for him this year, Laramie Tunsil, and then we can work an extension to help with the cap upcoming years. Now go ahead, Farrell, because I know you wanted to talk about Tunsil a little bit more, and I just went off on my rant. But I wanted you to be able to get a chance to go ahead and talk about Tunsil and kind of wrap it into, Illuminor and Cole Miller. Like, what? Go ahead, man.
So the Patriots, when they run their system, they like to run different types of blocking schemes, whether it's zone, whether it's power, you know what I mean? And I feel like if we need to add some talent and some versatility. So I feel like Laramie Tunsil, if he's available, we can move him to that left side, let him play, and then have Miller go to the right side, which he played in college. And you just said that he gets paid like $15 million a year, that's a pretty solid contract, whether it's right tackle or left tackle money. So I feel like the money, it kind of works in our favor. I don't know I got to look into how many years is left in Laramie Tunsil's contract for it to make sense. Because I know you said that
it's 2023.
23 mil a year.
No, 2023 is the last year.
First round pick.
And his cap hit for 2023 is
substantial, right?
26.
Substantial. $26 million cap hit. No fucking way. So now what you're doing is you're gutting the future of your team, and you're paying a guy and that you're gonna have to pay again that you don't have long term. That is a very short-sighted view. Like, if Laramie Tunsil was the one player that we needed that was standing between us and competing for a Super Bowl, I'm all on board with it. But we are building a whole new roster, a whole new program, and there's too many guys out there that you can get for a cheaper price tag that can give you similar production, and then you won't have to move Colton Miller, like Morgan Moses, and also, to be honest with you, I am never a proponent of trading draft capital unless you're getting a pass rusher or you're getting a quarterback. Like, I'm talking about top end draft, like first round pick, stuff like that, especially in this kind of a draft. This draft has a lot of talent.
I would do it for a tackle.
For a right tackle? No. For a left tackle, yeah.
It's hard to find tackles, period. It's hard to find tackles, period.
I think personally for me is how much you have to give up. Because I feel like at that point, it's almost like it's only one step off of trying to go get Devontae Adams at that point, kind of, if you think about it. What would you have to give up for Adams? Maybe 2 first, plus you have to give him the money. I mean, with Laramie Tunsil, you wouldn't have to pay him as much, but you would still have to give a first and pay him money. I wouldn't want to do that for a right tackle when I feel like we could get a more mediocre right tackle. That's just my opinion. Now, Laramie Tunsil, I know he's good, but that's just my opinion on it.
Hey, listen, we got a guy out there that's just as good as Laramie Tunsil, right? That you can also do that with. Orlando Brown Jr., Zeus's kid.
He gonna want the bag though.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you're gonna do it, you might as well. Because I think Orlando Brown Jr. is better than Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do this whole Colton Miller experiment, go get Zeus and take Colton and say, hey, go back to UCLA days. You play right. You understand what I'm saying? And then now you're not giving up draft capital. See, the thing that I'm concerned about is if I'm giving up draft capital, I want the contract to be advantageous to me so I don't have to go around the dance floor and give this guy any more money.
Yep.
I think it's bad when you go out and you give up draft capital, then you got to give him the bag too. That's why the Chicago Bears trade for Khalil Mack will always look bad on their end. Yep. As great of a player as he is, because they had to give him $100-something million and they lost their fucking draft future for 2 years in a row.
It's true.
And I want to get back to something. Somebody in the chat was saying about Tom Cable. Tom Cable went over to Seattle. They had a decent offensive line. He elevated them a little bit. And then the organization believed in him and they gutted their offensive line and they were a bottom unit in the bottom half of the league and Russell Wilson was getting killed because they believed in Tom Cable. Foolishly. Tom Cable is not a good offensive line coach. He's never had an offensive line ranked above the top 15. He's not a good offensive line coach. We definitely have upgraded by bringing in the guy that we brought in from the Patriots.
Yeah.
He's a marketable, definite upgrade, especially with the young guys we got on our offensive line, man. So, you know, I would beg to differ. You know what I mean? I really would.
Now, now I got to ask this question real quick. I know a lot of people are talking about Morgan Moses. Morgan Moses, his what is his free agent value right now? Looking at like around 10 million a year.
Yeah.
But how? Because we brought up his name, Illuminor, earlier. How surprised would you guys be if Illuminor was the starting right tackle this year?
I wouldn't be shocked at all. I know that the Patriot guys are very ancestral with the way that they bring people in with the coaches and everything. And he's exhibited that he can play at a level that's functioning for a starting right tackle in the National Football League. With the same offensive coordinator, with the same guys, I believe that the guy can play. I just personally do. I was upset when they kept sitting him out last year, to be honest with you. We were all saying that, Ray, right?
Yeah.
So, man, use the guys.
Illuminor, was he? I don't think he was a starter with the Patriots, but he came in when a player got hurt.
And he started for the rest of the year and did excellent. He was their version of Denzel Good.
Yeah.
You know how like that year Denzel Good came in, he played really, really well. Illuminor is a young guy. He can play if you believe in him. Let him go out there. These guys will adjust on the fly to the talent they have on the roster. And I'm telling you, man, you're going to be great. What word did I invent, Benevolent?
The boy invent words. No, but I like Illuminor too, man. I feel like when he got pulled for Brandon Parker, I was like, yeah, Tom Cable, dumbass son of a bitch. I was ready to stop the shit out Tom Cable. And not only that, you continue to watch Brandon Parker struggle, and you still don't pull him. And in my mind, I'm thinking,
he got a big ass ego.
What did Illuminor do so bad that Brandon Parker was doing better? And I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. And I know some people, I seen somebody say Tom Cable did have a top offensive line when we had Rodney Hudson. Okay, AP right here. He says, and we had a top 5-0 line with Cable and Hudson. And the rest of those boys were here. But you got to think about it. We paid a veteran in Rodney Hudson. We paid Gabe Jackson, who we drafted before Tom Cable even got here. We went and paid Trent Brown, Richie Incognito, and Colin Miller. So we had 4 guys that were basically veterans that had nothing to do with Tom Cable whatsoever. But the moment those guys left, right, and we had Colin Miller, we had John Simpson, who Tom Cable, that's Tom Cable's guy. Andre James is Tom Cable's guy. Alex Leatherwood is Tom Cable's guy, and Brandon Parker. And we've had one of the worst offensive lines we've had in the past like 10 years.
Do you guys give them credit for that 2020 year where players were getting hurt left and right, players are getting COVID? There was that one game where like literally like the whole O-line had COVID and they showed up for that one game on the same day. Like it seemed like the players that were coming in prepared. Like a Denzel Good was coming in and he was just plugging them in at like right tackle.
No, Sam Young sucks. I don't like Tom Cable at all, bro. I don't think he did a good job. I don't think he did a good job at all. If you look at his offensive line rankings, the past 10 years, I believe they were all either 20th or worse. And there might be one that was top 20, actually. Might be one that was top 20. But the rest of them, I believe, were 20th or worst.
No, I'm with you. When John Gruden like first hired his coaching staff, like Tom Cable was one of those hires where I was just like, huh? Like, because especially the way he left Seattle, like they was trying to chop his head off out there. So
he was trying to chunk him with everybody. He's trying to swing on everybody. And that was another problem because, heard it through the grapevine for some people, but Tom Cable was causing problems amongst the coaches because he wanted Brandon Parker to be out there because he wanted certain plays to be called. And so when John Gruden left, Tom Cable was having problems with Greg Olson because he wants Greg Olson to call certain plays.
Yeah, I heard that too.
He was trying to. He thought that he was going to be the head coach.
He thought he was going to bully his way to the.
He thought he was going to break somebody's jaw again and shit. Yep. You know what I mean? Tom Cable should never, ever. He should never, ever be a part of this organization. I'm so glad Mark Davis has grown up, and become the owner that he knows he can be and listen to himself. Because a lot of the shit that's going on in his organization since his father died has been Mark showing respect to the past legends, showing respect to like the Ron Wolfs of the world and the John Manners of the world. And I'm just glad that he understands his business and he's going out and getting people. Not making that word up. You never heard of that word? Gruden. But seriously, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like when we talk about this team, that's why I'm so excited. I'm excited because we have coaches that teach players how to be better, and they're willing to adjust. They're willing to meld and shape their roster based off of the talent that's here, and they'll go and fill in the gaps. They don't have to do this whole bullshit where. Like what Gruden will come in and be like, he's not one of my guys. I got to get rid of this guy. That's bullshit, man.
100%.
I'm very happy.
Shout out Pacey and Cunningham for dropping a super chat. He says, only need a guard, right tackle, and wide receiver. A center would be nice. I don't know. I kind of like Andre James. He says, but that's not a priority. Okay. He says, I hope we get our starting guard and right tackle in FA, but I trust McDaniels will draft a solid starter on the O-line. That's interesting. Because personally, I want veterans on the O-line. Yeah. But he continued to say he trusts McDaniels will draft a solid starter on the O-line. So how do y'all take this super chat and how would y'all approach the offensive line? Do y'all mind having a rookie start on the O-line or do y'all want vets? How y'all going with that?
I want a veteran in free agency when it comes to the O-line. I just don't want us to take another lineman again, and after last year, I know it's a different regime, and like the GM is better. You know what I mean? They'll probably pick the right players this time, but I just feel like I want a veteran because we already got young players on the O-line already. So I think it would fit better if they get like let's say a veteran right tackle to go along like Leatherwood at right guard, and then you got maybe another guard right next to Andre James. I don't know. I'm not really too confident with Simpson at left guard. I mean, he's too inconsistent. Like he'll have a good play here and there, and then he'll mess up. I don't know.
What's up with you, Wason, man? What do you think? Personally, I want a veteran at right tackle without a doubt.
Yeah, the right tackle cannot be a kid.
Exactly. I want a veteran at right tackle without a doubt. At guard, I could take a guy in the draft at guard because I feel like guard, you can get a big guy that could move his feet pretty nicely, you know what I mean, have decent hands, and he'll be able to fill up the middle of the offensive line. When you're out there on the edges, I feel like you can be caught on the island. You're going up against like really good pass rushers, especially in our division. Shit, you're gonna get caught lacking if you're in our division. You got to play right tackle. So I'd rather go veteran right tackle. I wouldn't mind a guard being a young guy.
It depends. Now, say for instance, my right tackle, I'm in the draft. Rashawn Slater falls to me. It's different.
No, that's different. You talking like, some crazy numbers now.
No, I'm just saying. Like last year, Rashawn Slater kind of fell where people didn't think he would. Right. Yeah, so say for instance, we're talking hypotheticals. I'm in the position where I got my draft pick. Right.
You talking about Slater or Darrisaw?
Darrisaw, Slater got hurt, right? So Darrisaw, right?
Darrisaw was a guy that we could have got instead of Leatherwood.
Yeah, but no,
Slater
Slater was balling, but
Yeah.
Darrisaw, right? But I'm just talking about that level of talent because that's happened before, right?
Mhm.
So say, for instance, that kind of talent falls to me. I'm at 22. A couple of wide receivers that I love are off the board. The corner I love is off the board. So now I'm kind of like, okay, I kind of like this wide receiver, but I can get this guy similar in the second round. And this tackle is right here.
Yep.
And I know he's going to be a all-pro talent. Then I take him, right?
Now,
But
let me hold you real quick. Considering that, free agency is going to kind of wall up, what if you go, but you kind of have to have that idea. It's like, are you going to get your vet? You got to get your vet in free agency, right? You can't wait till after the draft almost.
Yeah.
Because that guy potentially or most likely will be gone. So with that, it kind of puts you in a dilemma to where do you get your free agent veteran right tackle, or would you risk going into the draft seeing if maybe one falls?
Well, I would get my guy. But the thing is, because we do need, like I said, I don't want to go into the season without options. But the thing is the great thing is dollar cost average at that point, right? So the way I'm talking about building the team, and I've said this on my show, we had this conversation too, Ray, like on the offensive and defensive trenches, that is how this team should be built and build it out. Mm-hmm. So when we were talking about defensive tackles, I would like to bring in a guy like an Ndamukong Suh and take a flyer on a Winfrey or Travis Jones and have those young bodies there, have like 4 guys there. So draft 2 tackles in this draft, bring in a free agent, keep Jefferson. Now you got 4 guys you can run with, right? And on the offensive line, guard-wise, if all things being equal, if I go out and I go get my veteran right tackle, I can go and take a flyer on a guy that is a tackle and maybe move him to guard. You know what I mean? Like say, for instance, like Trevor Penning falls or something like that.
Definitely hear you now. Definitely.
So now when we come into camp, now what we do
almost
is
like Leatherwood.
Yes. Just same like Leatherwood.
It would have been that plan would have been 100 times. That plan would have worked last year if these motherfuckers would have thought of it. Because if we would have brought in a vet right tackle, go get Leatherwood, and Leatherwood doesn't work out at right tackle, whatever the case may be, then you would have been able to move him to guard, or he would have just started at guard in the beginning, and you would have had your vet right tackle. So that definitely, and that makes 100. Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that.
I would do it like that.
I agree with Ray too as well.
Now, if the guy in the first is your guy, though, right? It has to be like you said, a Rashawn Slater, a Christian Darrisaw. People are bringing up the Penning, right? So if a guy like that were to fall, but if you don't have that guy, then
that's a good problem to have, right? That's a good problem to have. Exactly. So now, hopefully, the tackle that you bring, because the tackles we're talking about bringing in are guys that are not really going to move the needle. It's not like we're talking about going now. If you go get Zeus Brown, no matter what, you're done.
He's a premier tackle.
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
And he plays both sides, but I think he prefers to play.
That's the reason why he forced his way out of because the Ronnie Stanley was playing left, so he forced his way out of Baltimore because he would play left.
Exactly.
Colton Miller has been great here, but listen, man, listen. Colton Miller can be moved. He can be moved. I don't give a shit with nobody. I wouldn't want to.
He played right tackle in college.
Yeah, he played right tackle in college, and not for nothing, they didn't draft him, Raid. So if you're getting an upgrade at left tackle, why would you not talk to him if he's about the team? He got his bag already too.
Because when we start to talk about the tackles we want to bring in, it's like you said earlier, dollar cost averaging. At that point, you ain't dollar cost averaging a damn thing. You finna go pay $40 million. Your offensive line will potentially cost $50 million at that point.
Yeah, but you know what?
That's with moving a tackle you just developed, who just became a above average left tackle, who you just gave an extension, and now you're gonna move him. And that's why I just don't like it, because you're gonna have a $50 million offensive line and you're moving guys, and it's not even proven for the interior to be that good.
It's got to make sense, right? It's got to make sense, though, right? So,
would you rather have Corbett and Morgan Moses, or have Laramie Tunsil, or Orlando Brown?
Corbett and Morgan Moses makes sense to our situation,
and that's kind of why I'm like, they're gonna cost. Them boys gonna cost.
I don't think that Corbett is gonna cost like we think, man.
No, I'm saying Laramie Tunsil
and Zeus.
Brown.
Yeah, and Zeus. Yeah, man. That's especially Zeus. Zeus is going to definitely call it. And Laramie Tunsil's not a free agent, so I don't even consider that.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like with Zeus, it's got to make sense, right? It's got to make sense. So it's more so like the stars got to align. This is how I'm speaking. I'm never a proponent of spending premium money when you have the position need filled, and now you got to start tinkering with the roster. But I'm just saying, if he falls in your laps, it's different. Why does everybody keep talking about Yo, the Raiders almost killed this man. He is not coming.
No, he's
talking
about Brown. He's talking about Brown. Or I mean,
yeah.
I'm saying Brown. He's talking about the same guy you talking about.
Yeah, Orlando Brown.
Yeah.
We listen, yo, this is the off season. We spitballing, Tazi. We spitballing, man.
Yeah, I don't think the Chiefs. Yeah, and I get what you're saying. You're just throwing it out there to see if it's a possibility and if it was presented to us, if we would do it or not. But
if it falls in your lap, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about going and pursuing this. We're talking about like, because stranger things have happened. Shit happens in free agency. Things get weird. You're like, why is this guy still available? Like even the time when Orlando Brown was forced his way out of Baltimore, you're like, why is nobody going out and bringing this fucking guy in? What the hell is wrong here?
Yeah, and I think that, just to play the other side to it, I don't think that the Chiefs are going to let him go because they did trade some draft capital to get him here, so they're going to try to sign him long term. But I hear what you're saying.
Yo, Rock said Jason Peters, he cheap as hell. He's old as hell too. Jason Peters would be now the probably the oldest starting tackle in football.
Is he still
or is he older than
Wentworth retired?
Oh yeah, okay.
Jason Peters, is he even still in the league?
Yeah,
I think he was on a team this year, but he just got hurt.
Damn,
bro, I would never ever bring that guy in. Listen, it'll be like Dragon Ball Z. You're waiting for Goku to come the whole season, just like fucking Richie Incognito.
He said he waiting for Goku to come the whole season. It's because that motherfucker died.
Yeah, everybody waiting for Goku to come save everybody from
Cell. You gotta go revive Goku.
Yeah, you gotta go find the Dragon Balls so he play for DC, right?
What? We need to go get all 7 Dragon Balls to win a Super Bowl. It seemed like fuck. All right, but anyway, the offensive line though, I just think, like I kind of said at the beginning, I don't think we need to make any home runs. Personally, I feel like if we need to bring in top tier offensive linemen, then Derek Carr is not as good as I think. Let's put it that way. I don't think Derek Carr needs that good of an offensive line. And that's why I don't really want to go get a Tunsil. I don't want to go get a Orlando Brown, because we can go pay a guy $5 to $10 million to play right tackle, and I think he'll do just fine. And I would rather get a tackle in that range. And if our quarterback cannot produce with an offensive line that's, at that level, then we have some issues. And I think he can. So,
Ray, I beg to differ, man. If you look at Derek's history, and his best year ever was the year he had the best offensive line possible.
I mean, let's think about it though.
That was when Pin Pancake
have their best year when they have their best O-line though.
But even with McDaniels though too, his offense, like if you notice, like even Mac Jones, he played with a good O-line. Like his offense is running on all cylinders with a good O-line that knows how to run block, because he likes to run the ball as well. So, and that's something that we didn't do well last year. So he's going to make sure that he can rectify that so we can run that ball, because we got the talent as far as running backs goes, but the O-line was struggling. So I don't know if they, from their perspective, they're thinking it's more of a coaching thing, because I know you guys mentioned Tom Cable was terrible.
Yeah.
So
all we just needed to do is, put a right tackle there and we're good, and another right guard. I like that you said that we can get a guard in the draft, because you can get a starter in the mid rounds.
Yeah. See,
we got Gabe Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah. And see, this is the difference. And this is what I mean. See,
sure,
you can have we're not saying that you're going to have a terrible offensive line, right? So that's what Ray is talking about. You can bring in guys and the line would be serviceable. It could be a top 14, 15 offensive line, right? But the difference between having a truly great offensive line and having a top 14 offensive line is that when the money's on the table and you need it, you got to have it. A great offensive line doesn't have a false start. Great offensive line doesn't give up that blindside sack, because Derek isn't the best with pocket presence. That's, listen, if Derek Carr had the pocket presence of like Joe Burrow or one of these mobile guys, he'd be a top 3 quarterback in the National Football League. So that's the reason why I say that, if you want to get to a Super Bowl, the closest direction between 2 points is a straight line. Straight line of that is making sure that Derek doesn't get touched. If he doesn't get touched, he's starting in a Pro Bowl. It's 2016 again. So that's how I view it. Can he be successful? Can we be, 11-6 or some shit and make the playoffs? Yeah, but then if you got to go into a place in a hostile situation and there's a big pass rush and he's getting knocked around, you might not win that game.
See,
if you can keep Derek clean the whole time, chances are you're gonna win. So, like real right, even against Kansas City.
For every quarterback, though.
But what I'm saying is it's more true with Derek. Derek Carr goes from being a Pro Bowl quarterback to a very average quarterback when he's getting harassed. There's some guys that are able, that's in their skill set where like a Joe Burrow can have an offensive line that's terrible, and he can still perform because that's where his skill set lies. Derek's skill set lies in reading defenses, being able to attain and acquire the knowledge to get in and out of checks and offense. Like, to be honest with you, I think John Gruden should have empowered Derek more because Derek is very good pre-snap. A lot of the times, Derek didn't feel like he was empowered to do that because Gruden is such a fucking a domineering coach. He's a dictator, and you noticed the reason why they started playing better was because Derek started going to the line and just pointing shit out, checking out, sending guys off the field.
And just to add to that, I had watched a video of Hunter Renfrow, and he had talked about when he had first started playing with the Raiders, that his first game when he was in London, I don't know if you guys seen this, when he was in London, he was having, he was struggling. He only had one catch. He had like 6 or 7 targets or something like that. He was struggling. And he was like, man, after that game, I had to really question myself. Like, man, I'm not going to be in the NFL very long. I was a late round draft pick. I'm not doing very well. And I'm trying to do everything coaches want us to do. I'm trying to do what Gruden wants me to do. And and he was saying, like, I had to sit down and tell myself, I got to do what I do. He's like, I know I got to respect what the coaches say, but he's like, I got to go out there and play how I play, and I got to do my thing. And then once I did, I started actually working a lot better. And that's what he said. And so I think that goes with every player on the team when it comes to Gruden. It's like everybody's trying to do what Gruden wants, but really it's probably not what's best for that player. And I think Hunter Renfrow said it in that little clip I had to watch. I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but
football's too complicated now. Football is not the game that I grew up playing. It's not as simple as it used to be.
Nope.
Seriously, it's not, man. These guys are geniuses, bro. And these guys have so much technology. The players they can watch film literally on their phone. They can be on a plane wherever they are. They don't have to go and I remember back in the day, they did this expose on Ray Lewis. And Ray Lewis had this big media room in his house. He used to watch film all day in his house, all day. These fucking guys can walk around. They can literally be on a treadmill and break film down with a fucking iPad. Yeah. It's different now, man. Players are smarter. The coaches are smarter. The way they condition these guys are smarter. So you can't have a one-size-fit-all policy when it comes to football anymore.
And that's what, honestly, it's a good point because that's what hurts Raiders franchise, Raiders football, because Al Davis was so used to it being so simple to where he's like, get the strongest arm, get the fastest guy, get the hardest hitter, and just go out there and throw that motherfucker deep. Because back in the day when they was winning, Al Davis was able to do that. But the game has advanced. The game has moved on so far to where you can't just get the strongest arm and the fastest guy out there no more. Everybody's fast. Everybody has a strong arm.
And Al wasn't doing that too. I think Al changed. Al changed. The problem with Al was fighting with the league too much in the 80s, and he lost his fastball being in court all the fucking time. And then when he moved the team back to Oakland,
I don't know, man. Jamarcus Russell.
Listen, let me finish.
Darius Hayward Bay.
Let me finish. Let me finish. When Al was fighting with the league, the team took a step back. Then when he got established and Oakland promised him all of this money to redo the stadium, we moved back. He reestablished everything. He brought John Gruden in. We started winning again. Around the time, I would say, of after the Gruden stuff, I think Al was starting to go senile. Yeah. And he was definitely senile, dude. And that is the reason why we got Jamarcus Russell and we got Darius Hayward Bay and all of that. I think Al was senile in the game. Like, Al literally had a fucking press conference with a projector in 2006 or 7, bro. Like, when I haven't seen a projector since I was in elementary school, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Al was looking, in his last days, he was looking kind of rough.
Yeah, Al was really, really senile, bro. And I think Al was very, very Al progressed with the game in the 90s. Like we were in the AFC Championship game in 1993. I wasn't dumb.
I was with what, Art Shells last year?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
we got blown out by Buffalo.
On this too. I hit on this on my last video that I dropped, and how like big a move that Dave Z is, because if you look at our last 3 GM hires, there were Mike Mayock, Reggie McKenzie, and Al Davis. You know what I mean? Mike Mayock was a yes man. Reggie McKenzie, obviously, he had that 2014 draft, but after that, it wasn't really good after that. And then you got Al Davis in his later years. You know, he wasn't the same guy that he was back in the 70s and 60s that built the Raiders and the brand. And, you know, and you gotta understand like how big a hire that Dave Z was with McDaniels. This is going to be, I feel like, man, we're gonna kill it this free agency, man. Free agency and the draft.
Yeah, I do too.
It's interesting though, because when you look at the Patriots team, because that's kind of what we could base off. That's what we kind of base off, right? Ziegler and Josh McDaniels, whatever. Is that when you look at their receivers, right, and you look at how they attack wide receivers in the free agency versus how they attack the tight ends in free agency last year, right? It's just crazy because they go out and get a Kendrick Bourne, but that's like the only real receiver that they went out and got when they really didn't have many receivers. But you look at their tight end room, they went out and paid Jonnu Smith. Or
Hunter Henry too.
It wasn't Jonnu Smith, or was it Jonnu?
And Hunter Henry too. They got 2 tight ends.
Okay, that's what I'm tripping. Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. So it's just interesting, and I wonder how they're going to attack this free agency with that dynamic. They attack tight ends, then they only get a Kendrick Bourne. So do they not? What's the word I'm looking for? Value wide receivers as much?
We'll see. This is the problem. People forget that Dave Ziegler was not the GM there. He was the de facto GM.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick is the GM there. So Bill Belichick might not.
Last year, though, bro, you got to admit, last year, BB
gave him a little bit more. He
was not the GM last year, bro.
No. Last year, as far as the draft, he redesigned what they did with the draft. But when it comes to the concept of how he wants the team built, the structure of how he wants the team built, Bill Belichick still signs off on that and says, that's my final say. This is what I want. You know what I mean? But I think them bringing in Nelson Aguilar shows you all you need to know about what they feel about wide receiver help, because they paid him a premium. That's not a Bill Belichick move. That was a money ball kind of a move. You know what I'm saying? They projected him. They say, yo, he's on the upswing. He's a first round pick. He's going on the upswing. We need a talented receiver in here. That I firmly believe these guys will go about the way they bring talent in a little different than Bill Belichick. That's what I mean by that. I don't think you're going to have a whole bunch of 5'0" guys running around here that you got out of nowhere to play wide receiver here. And then also a caveat to that is all the years that they've done that, they're the greatest quarterback of all time playing there. We're never going to mistake Derek for being Tom Brady.
No, most definitely. But it just brings me to the draft. Because when you think about, like you said, Ziegler obviously wasn't the GM, it was Bill Belichick. But it brings me to the draft because you'll hear about people bringing up, we're taking Treylon Burks in the first round. We're taking Drake London. We're taking this receiver, that receiver. And if you think about the Patriots, when have they ever really took receivers in the first round? I know they took N'Keal Harry. And
No, bro.
They usually
that kid, they took that kid a couple years ago from Florida that was a bust too.
Yeah,
in the first round. What the fuck was that kid's name?
That's been Bill Belichick's reputation is that he can't draft receivers.
He has a blind spot with it.
Florida.
It was a while ago. It's a kid from Florida that they took in the first round. What the fuck was that kid's name, man?
I know it's not Aaron. I know it's not.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
No, it's not Aaron Hernandez, bro. It's not Hernandez. It was a receiver.
Kid from Florida.
University of Florida. New England Patriot first round pick.
Someone's Philip Dorsett.
No, not Philip Dorsett. Philip Dorsett was a free agent.
Aaron Dobson?
No. He was taken high too.
Dang. Florida wide receiver. This must have been how long ago was this?
Bro, I'm older than y'all, so like my mind, like to me, a couple years ago is fucking 15 years ago. So
we're talking about something else. Past that, let's see. Florida. I'm trying to think. Yeah, a lot of people were saying Philip Dorsett.
Philip Dorsett was drafted by the Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts.
Those Patriots will have athletes at the receivers.
Player selections.
I'm not 100% sure, but If it's that long ago, then I think you kind of get the idea.
But it's the same person, so we got to look at the ideology too. It was the same people there, so we can't just say that it doesn't matter because it's not like the regime change, right? So
and that goes with what I'm saying is because, man, do you think they would really get the receivers we're thinking of, right? Because I doubt we would see here.
I think he might have been a second-round pick that year. They didn't have a pick. The fuck was this kid's name? There's a guy that they drafted high.
Goody Good says, love the Raiders talk. Can do it all day. What y'all think of DeMarvin Leal? Can be a beast as 3-4 D end and play the 3 tech in a 4-3. Can play all 3 downs.
I like him. I like him. I just don't like him in the first or the second round.
Not in the first, second round. See, for me, it's tough because like we need guys in the trenches, right?
Yeah. And
you could find guys that could give production, that could fill a gap, that could fill a hole in the later rounds. And I think that's really where we have to go for in the trenches in them later rounds. But for me, it's more the offensive line. I'd rather go defensive tackle earlier. If there's a guy good enough.
You save so much money, right, when you do that.
Yeah, 100%. Because if you were to go trade or something like that, you'd have to end up pay a ton of money. I know some people talking about like a Leonard Williams of the Giants, Patrick Graham. There's a connection there, but his cap hit, boy. I think Leonard Williams' cap hit is like 20 mil or something like that.
Hey Ray, let me
Jackson.
ask you about
That's
this.
what I was thinking about.
You mentioned this before. You said you were asking about you mentioned this like during the season. You were like you wouldn't mind getting like a D tackle from the Redskins. I'm not the Redskins, but now the Commander, Washington. We'll just call him Washington just to play the same. But would you still send a first round pick to get one of their D linemen?
A first rounder? I don't think we'd have to send a first, honestly. I think we'd be able to get one of their defensive linemen for like a third or less. Easily, especially if they spend a lot to get a quarterback. Oh, we could get a D line off of them. Easy, I bet.
Randy Savage is my biggest hater. I won, you know it. Stop your nonsense, Randy Savage. Oh yeah, brother.
The Marvin Leal though, I still got to watch a lot more tape on him. I've watched a lot of these defensive tackles. Nah, I'll be honest, man. A lot of them, there's not a lot that I'm like, oh, that guy's a beast. That guy's
that's popping out.
A lot of them,
there's 4 of them that I look at. Travis Jones is definitely he's an animal, dude. He's not an animal.
Travis Jones, I feel like Travis Jones got a lot of hype because he's Senior Bowl, and that's what it's there for, right? But that was the eye catcher for him. That was
Winfrey's a beast too. Pass rushing wise, he has the whole. And I've been talking about Winfrey all year. Mm-hmm. Wyatt is a beast. You know what I mean? And Jordan Davis, I'm not sold on because he doesn't get his pad level low enough. I don't like his motor. But Travis Jones is not a pass rushing defensive end. I mean, not defensive tackle. He is a Vince Wilfork run stopping, fucking gap moving animal.
How much you weigh?
Travis Jones, I had it written down here somewhere. I'm sorry, man.
So you saying you wouldn't take Jordan Davis at number 22 if he's there?
No. Travis Jones is 6'5" and he's 333.
The Georgia defense. Look, I've been wanting to talk about one guy specifically. It's in Kobe Dean, but we're talking about D tackles. That Georgia defense, every player on there makes me kind of worried because I can't identify whether these individual guys are playing very well because they're individually that good, or is because that defense was that lit.
That's what it is.
Defense was good. They had this defensive tackle who everybody talking about, plus edge rushers, plus another D tackle right next to him, and then Kobe Dean is the greatest linebacker in this draft.
Kobe Dean is smoking mirrors. He's smoking mirrors. He's fucking 6 foot.
I don't like Kobe Dean.
He's 6 foot. He's 225. He's my size pretty much, right? He's small. So he's going to get to the National Football League as a high draft pick and not have that fucking goon in front of him to protect him. You know what I mean? I liken it to Littleton when he played with the Rams. He's running around unencumbered. He doesn't have to fight any blocks off. They're blowing everybody out. Half of the time, they're not even playing the whole game. He to me, Nakobe Dean can't hold Devin Lloyd's jockstrap.
Nope.
Seriously, he's
Nope.
not. He's not Devin Lloyd at all.
Yep.
I am not in Nakobe Dean. Actually, man, is small enough to where if he lost fucking 10 pounds, they'd probably move him to safety. Seriously,
if he's that small, I don't think Patrick Graham would want that type of linebacker because I think their linebackers are pretty big, like his linebackers that he's had in his defenses.
In the middle, yeah, for sure.
And what he is he's Denzel Perryman without the weight program.
Without the strength.
Denzel Perryman, I don't know how he's going to fit in this defense too.
I think they're going to make him fit. He's a tackling machine. You can always use a guy like that, and he's very, very good against the run. He doesn't really have to. He doesn't have to cover as much if you do the right thing with the secondary and you play. You get yourself in the right situation. It's not like we're running a 4-3. It'll be different. If we're running a 4-3, man, we'd be dead in the water with Denzel Perryman. But Denzel Perryman, they're gonna put him in the right position to be successful.
Who's not no third? What you mean by that, Dominique? But yeah, when it comes to that Georgia defense, for me, is that whole defense was good, bro. That whole defense was good. And when you look at teams like that, you have to sit back and you have to ask yourself, is this guy individually that good, or is this defense collectively that good? Because kind of like what you said, the dude's standing behind two defensive tackles that we're talking about who will potentially get drafted.
And the best guy on that line, besides Wyatt, is the fucking defensive end.
That's what I'm talking about.
The defensive end is better than both of them. Watch.
Their edge rushers were eating. Because when you watch the tape on Georgia, and that's why I was like, oh, snap, hold up. Because when I watched the tape on Georgia, I'm looking, and they got so many players, you just watch the Georgia game, right? You just watch the game. You don't even have to say, oh, I'm looking at this one player. No, you're looking at everybody because half the damn team going to the NFL. So when you watch it, it's like, hold up, who's really making plays out here? Who's out here going ham, right? And then you got to dissect whether is it because of this guy next to him is helping him that much? Is he going to have that help when he gets to the next level? Is Nakobe Dean going to have Jordan Davis standing in front of him? No.
Bro. So what happens if one of these players that coming out of the Georgia defense, they kill it in the combine? You know what I mean? Do you guys value the combine numbers at all?
No, I value game tape. See, this is the problem. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ray.
Go ahead. Oh yeah, I was going to say real quick. The only thing with the combine is that I like to look at really is on defensive side of the ball, the cone drill. I want to see how quick they are on their feet. Obviously, look at the 40 time. That'll make a guy's draft go up if he seems slower than what he really is. But at the end of the day, I like game speed, bro. Because guys may seem slow, but then they're in the game. Nobody can tackle them for some reason, and they get away for some reason. So a lot of the times, but I do take in consideration. I do. But I like watching film more. I like game speed more.
What I like to see is if what I saw with my eyes is reinforced by the numbers at the combine. So if I see a guy who just like Tyreek Hill, right? I remember the Raiders wanted Tyreek Hill, but they didn't take him because of the domestic violence things. But when I saw Tyreek Hill in college, I was like, this fucking guy might be the fastest fucking guy I've ever seen. Like, seriously. I was like, this guy's unbelievable. And then when I watched him at the combine, he tore the shit to shreds. Henry Ruggs, I wanted to see if that speed was true. Because it looks like everybody else is walking and he's just fucking. And that's what we saw, right? The thing for me is this. I kind of lost my train of thought, but the thing for me with all of this stuff is, man, it's
with
all about
and watching film tape.
Yeah, it's all about the tape. It's all about the tape, man. All of this stuff is all.
So when you say the tape, are you including like the level of competition that they face?
No, because like I'm gonna give you an example. We got a guy in the chat that says that Denzel Perryman's fast enough to be good in coverage, even though Denzel Perryman's played on 3 different teams, even though Denzel Perryman's been in the league for years and played in different defenses and has always been a liability in pass coverage, right? That's not a coaching thing. When you watch the tape, what you see is that he has a problem with flexibility in his hips. He's never going to be able to get his hips around. It's the same thing I see with Jonathan Abram. Jonathan Abram can be a good NFL player, but you got to look at what you have. Andy said this best. Jonathan Abram is a linebacker. I said that since he came out. He is not a corner. He's not a safety. He's a linebacker. He needs to go get some HGH, put on about 10 pounds with a little GH. Look, Ray, you know they all doing that shit. Go get some GH, go and lift, put you about 10, 15 pounds of muscle and come and play in the corners and stuff like that and fucking come downhill. He's a downhill tackling machine. He would be he's a great blitzer. He would be a great will linebacker. But you got to look at what you have, because what you see with Jonathan Abram is, yeah, he has the front line speed. He in a straight line, he can stay with anybody.
Yeah, he'll be lining.
That's dangerous though. But
the thing is, if you hit him with one move, he ain't getting his hips around to stay with you.
Right.
He hit you like if you get a guy with footwork like Chad Johnson used to have, he's dead in the water. And what used to happen is he used to get picked on all the time. The Chiefs used to fucking pick. How many touchdowns in the last 2 years have the Chiefs thrown on Jonathan Abrams? Damn near every one.
Every game.
So come on, man.
But the thing is, if Jonathan Abram adds some weight, it could affect them as a player, because sometimes
lean muscle mass and weight are
they
two
might
different
change
things.
their. You said what?
Lean muscle mass and weight are two different things. Like especially with all the supplements, I'm just kidding with the GH stuff, but with all of these supplements and the way they teach these guys how to eat, they know how to put weight on. It's like in boxing. I box. I'm big in the boxing world. My nephew's a national champion, and my brother and I, we're running a gym for years. When you put weight on a fighter, you put weight on him properly. You don't just have them pig out like back in the day where you put the weight on and you bulk and then you come back down, because that's show muscle. Functional muscle mass is put on differently than show muscle. So when we think about putting on muscle, we're thinking about bodybuilding. When you're talking about, like how the Jets did with the Brickashaw Ferguson when he was drafted and he had to put on weight. He didn't look bigger, but he was bigger. And it was functional. He could move and he kept his speed. So these guys know what they're doing, bro. It's just when they say, you are changing positions, we've committed to that. You need to be committed to that. And this is what we need you to do. They need to do that right now with Jonathan Abram if they're going to keep him on his roster. Because he can, I guarantee you, he can be a fucking high-end to damn near Pro Bowl level will linebacker.
Most definitely. I like Jonathan Abram. I like him as a strong safety. That's me personally.
It's basically we're at the point with Jonathan Abram that he's not going to be a safety in this league. Like it's done for him because
I don't think
because his coverage ability, people are going to expose like every game.
That he gets abused too much, Ray. Like it'd be different.
I hear you. I watch the same game as y'all. I see him getting mossed by running backs. I see him getting mossed by Ingram. I see him getting mossed by a bunch of tight ends. But personally, I'm not sold on Abram not being a strong safety. I'm just not sold on it.
You know what it is, man? I think the problem is the way he plays, his injury history and stuff. That's a piece of it too. Like you got to get the reps in game. It's a lot of reps that he's not getting from him being hurt all the damn time. And the thing is that now it's time to show and prove, right? Like we say, the closest direction between 2 points is a straight line. Mm-hmm. The straight line is take what he does well and put him in a position that those things translate, as opposed to trying to fit a square peg into a round hole and trying to get him to have flexibility in his hips and trying to teach him how to drop and stuff like that and shade. You could just have him at linebacker, boom. He's a linebacker, put the fucking weight on, because pretty much that's what he's doing when his tape jumps off the screen, Raid. He's really playing linebacker essentially. When he's up at the line of scrimmage, he's pretty much a linebacker. And that Browns game is really what you would get out of him.
Yeah,
that is because none of them highlights are him covering and knocking a fucking ball out of the air. I haven't seen one highlight of his where he's tracking somebody and coming and picking a ball off and smacking the ball down. It's always him coming up and knocking people silly, him hitting a running back, him getting a sack, him being in the back. You know what I mean? Like, so I really think for us to move up, we need to kind of do that.
No, I hear. Let me get this super chat from Mo Dizzle, though, man. He been waiting for a second. He says, tired of 3-year development project first rounders that only get a year of peak before we have to pay them. Need some day one guys in the draft. And I love the fact that he said this because I was touching on this earlier in the live, is that this is why I wanted it, the whole reason I started live is because I want a guy as a wide receiver one to come out of free agency. I don't want to, like he's saying, I don't want to wait for a guy to develop, because I was saying as Raider fans, it seems like we always have to hear if we say, no, this guy needs to come in and start producing day one, then sometimes you'll hear somebody bounce back like he's a rookie. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, why is that a fucking excuse?
Yeah, like why the fuck can't we ever have somebody come and tear the league up, right?
Especially in this NFL where like rookie receivers is coming in killing
exactly. And you'll hear, oh well, Colt Miller, he was good after 3 years. Who wants to wait 3 years every year? Why is Rashawn Slater doing so good his first year? Why Jamar Chase do good his first year? But for us as Raider fans, it seems like the narrative is we have to wait 3 years before a motherfucker is gonna produce. And so I agree with Mo Dizzle, man. That's a terrible narrative if that's what it is, though, man. Because if we have to wait 3 years all the time, every time we draft somebody to develop, that ain't.
Guess what? All of our players are gonna be. You're gonna have the ones that we needed there to fill one gap going out the door. We're gonna have other ones going down the other side of the hill, and we got the other ones sitting at the top of the hill or at the bottom of the hill. It's never gonna all come and make that serendipity that you need to create a championship. You need for so many things to go right, man.
Right. You gotta have the right combination.
Most definitely. Do you think we could get Muma from Wyoming?
Yeah.
Linebacker.
Do I want Muma? No. Do I think we can get him? Hell yeah. I don't think he's gonna be off the board by 22. It's a lot of things that people aren't taking into consideration. When we do these mock drafts, people don't understand that they're like, this is a weak quarterback draft, but people reach for quarterbacks every year.
Every year, yeah.
Somebody's gonna reach for Matt Corral. Somebody's gonna reach for Malik Willis when he goes to the combine and he's flicking the ball all around the field and running a fucking 4.5 40 at quarterback, even though he's only 6 foot. Somebody's gonna think that Kenny Pickett. They're gonna look at his tape and they're gonna say, you know what? I like this kid. He's got moxie. It's gonna happen, bro. So yeah,
most definitely, man. Austin Crow says Trevon Merrick Pro Bowler next year. Hope to see it. I hope so.
From your lips to God's ears.
Randy Savage says y'all have to watch real film, not just highlights. I wonder if you're talking to people in the
he's talking to himself. He ain't talking to us.
You talking to people in the chat, boy. You got to see my Google Drive.
Hey, can we agree that the safety position opposite of Morig is going to be another player other than Abram?
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
Because it's going to be because in Patrick Graham's defense, he likes to have 2 coverage safeties. So I'm thinking that either we get someone from free agency or we draft somebody. So
I kind of like Marcus May back there with Merrick. I feel like that would be crazy.
Coming back from Achilles injury.
I wouldn't really trip too much. I don't feel like he would.
I would love Marcus May, Ray. I'm 1,000% on board with you, brother.
I feel like Achilles injuries. Dang, they are kind of scary, bro.
They're like one of the toughest injuries.
Look, I tore my Achilles and it ruined me, but mind you, that was like 20-some years ago.
Yeah, but bro,
the technology is different.
Who came back off of an Achilles injury? Actually, who's had Achilles injuries that you know of? KD?
Yeah, but that's basketball, though, bro.
Richie Incognito, KD.
It's basketball. It's different. You know what I mean?
Steve Smith came back from it, like kind of, but he was older though. He was older. If you're younger, I think you have a better chance of coming back.
Cam Akers. Oh, what about Gillespie, man?
I haven't seen enough of him, man, for me to make a definitive decision on him.
He came out of college as a single high,
and I wish he played last year. I wish he played.
Yeah, so do I.
But I don't know. I don't know too much.
I like Gillespie. I liked him last year. Coming out of the draft, he was one of my top 3 safeties. Honestly, looking back, it was like, oof, man, he was top 3.
Yeah, we got him like in the 4th, 5th round.
Yeah, he was definitely top 5 though, because top 2 last year was Trayvon Merrick and Javon Holland, right?
Yeah,
or was it somebody else? I think it was those 2 guys.
Javon Holland might have went first.
I'm just saying, like projecting. I'm not saying. Yeah. Javon Holland did go first to the Dolphins, and then he was the first pick in the 2nd round, and then we traded up to get Trayvon Merrick. Or was he the first pick in the 2nd round?
Yeah, he had that hit pointer though.
But yeah, definitely, man. I've been up here for over 2 hours. I had y'all pulled up. Make sure to go ahead and check out the guy Farrell from the East. Go ahead and let him know.
It's actually Farrell NFL now. Farrell NFL. I had to make it more simple for everybody.
Yeah, Farrell NFL. It's the boy Farrell NFL. He had to take off the East, but don't forget that boy from Oakland. Don't
Yes,
forget.
sir.
He from the EA, huh?
Don't forget that boy's still from Oakland, even though he had to drop the East. Where you from? He's like, yeah, Cypress. That's Cypress out there, right? Or is that West Oakland?
You said Cypress?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't know about that? Okay, never mind. Let me do this real quick. I'm about to snatch something up. I'm about to go grab this.
Hey, listen, your boy Wasted. I'm about to go live at 5:15. So, you know, everybody that's in here, please pull up on me.
Yes, sir.
I just dropped the link to Pharaoh's YouTube page in the chat. Make sure y'all go check out Pharaoh's YouTube page. The boy's smart. Let me tell you, the man is smart. He knows what he's talking about. That's why I like bringing him up. He's been coming up for what, a couple months now on this page at least. And the dude just spit straight facts. Very smart, very knowledgeable. Another thing is honestly, man, when me and Pharaoh talk, we touch on a lot of the same subjects and agree on a lot of things. Kind of like, with Wasted as well. Me and Wasted agree on a lot of things.
I need to stop agreeing with you, man, so we can make a better conversation, bro.
Yeah. me and Wasted went at it before with DC, and that was a hell of a right there.
That was a good conversation.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no. Sometimes I argue a point just to make interesting banner on air. I'm going live at 5:15, everybody. 5:15 EST, man.
Yeah, go show the boy Pharaoh some love. I dropped the link right here in the chat. I hope everybody can see it. Then I also got Waste's link right here as well, right behind it. So y'all gonna make sure to subscribe to both of their pages. Go check out their previous videos, see what they're talking about. And as you heard, Wasted is going to live at 5 o'clock Eastern. 5 o'clock Eastern, right?
I was gonna go 5:15, but I'll be in there at 5 o'clock in the room.
5
o'clock. Pull up
about 5 o'clock, 5:15 Eastern, just to know, because everybody, I'm West Coast, you feel me? So I gotta let the people know. Yes, sir. He said already subbed. Yes, sir. Subscribe. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's run it up. But I appreciate y'all being able to come on, man, because y'all didn't have to. It was last minute.
I appreciate the invite, brother.
And
appreciate it, bro.
And I'll see you at 5 o'clock. I'll see you at 5 o'clock, Wasted, because I always tune in when everybody go live. I always tune in.
Appreciate you, bro.
Like to get in there early just to see what's going on. And appreciate everybody that pulled up to the chat. We was pretty deep today, man. And until next time, y'all already know what it is. Hit that like button, make a play. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't before. Do your touchdown dance. Until next time, y'all. Ready to